Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to tuning in to TBC Eagles on YouTube. Those of you tuning in to watch the potential championship game between Warner University and Emmanuel College, both teams have just finished warm-up. The field is in preparation mode at the moment. It'll be a few more minutes, but keep watching the screen. You'll see when the teams take the field, and we'll be ready for the first pitch. I'm guessing in about 5 to 10 minutes. And again, thank you for joining us here on YouTube Live, TBC Eagles. Stay with us. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Trinity Baptist College, and we are getting ready for the potential final game of the 2018 NCCAA South Region Tournament. Warner University is undefeated, and they're going to try to finish the job tonight as they take on Emmanuel College. Now, Emmanuel has one loss, so our information director and live stream play-by-play announcer, Mr. Kyle Blue. Kyle, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. It's fantastic to be up here. I tell you, I do not like driving through Orlando and Jacksonville traffic to get up here, though, right?
Well, if you're here tomorrow, should we have a ball game, you're going to get to see Jacksonville downtown traffic. We're on the west side. It's not quite as bad over here, but it can get very busy. Well, I'm going to give you the lineup for Emmanuel, then Kyle will let you know what's going on for the Royals. Leading off for the Lions, catcher Philip Swindell. Batting second is the second baseman Brock Bauckham. Batting third in left field, Hannon Price. Cleanup man Daniel Gooding, he's a DH. Batting fifth is the first baseman Jacob Teston. Batting sixth at third base, Jake Nichols. Dustin McNichol will bat seventh, he's in center. Steven Skeggs in right, batting eighth, and Chase Parker batting ninth at the shortstop. And after this pitch, we'll let Kyle let you know who's on the defensive side for the Royals. On the mound, number 34, Trace Porter, and the final is underway with a foul tip for strike one. All right, Kyle, who you got in the outfield starting off?
Good pitch there by Porter to lead things off. He's going to pound the strike zone. Porter is 1 for 7 on the mound. He's got a 6 ERA on the season. His record does not reflect how much he pounds the strike zone as he misses outside with a fastball there. Leading off for the Royals, we've got number 13 playing right field, Rio Russell. And hitting second, number 27 playing first base, Jesse Haney. Hitting third, number 24 playing third base, Junior Fermin. Hitting fourth, number 11, playing center field is Cole Parks. Hitting fifth, number 20, designated hitter, Jesse Alker. Hitting sixth, number 28, and behind the plate is Mick Tinney. Hitting seventh, number 23, the shortstop, Derek DeLear. Hitting eighth, number 2, the second baseman, Kevin Troncoso. And hitting ninth, number 7, playing left field, Xanders Vasquez.
And that makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Couple of foul balls by Swindell. Emmanuel is playing for the second time today. Now Warner has the advantage, Kyle. You haven't had to play through the heat so far today.
That is something that they're looking forward to, right? This is their first time stepping out. They were in a little early. That one gets away from Porter, a little over anxious, and plunks Swin in the shoulder, so he'll take his way down to first.
Up to bat, number 5, Brock Bacham.
And that could be a struggle. That is something that the Royals are going to have to eliminate here in the championship game, is free bases. Emmanuel, you can look at it one of 2 ways. They've already been on the field for 9 innings in 90-degree heat, or they're warmed up and ready to go. Everybody's loose, they're hydrated, and looking to go, and they've already got the lead runner on.
Runner at first, nobody out. Second baseman Brock Bacham at the dish. Handles the bat very well. We watched him all week long. He can bunt, he can run, he lays down the bunt. Throw is to second and in time, almost into center field. And you want to credit DeLear for a great play to keep that ball out of the outfield. Sacrifice bunt, nope, fielder's choice for Bacham. Out recorded at second, 1-6. So 1 out. Number 3 hitter, left fielder Hannon Price. Temperature is still in the mid to high 80s, but we're past the hottest part of the day. Throughout this game, we should get just a few degrees cooler. The forecast says we're going to stay in the 80s for most of the night. First pitch is fouled off. Price earlier today had himself 3 base hits, an RBI, and 3 runs scored against Bruton Parker. I don't know how much of that game you got to see, Kyle, but Emmanuel brought the bats.
I didn't get to see much. I was driving up most of the morning, but I know that they are ready to go.
Throw over to first, runner back. Final score was 12-7 in favor of the Lions. They had a couple of big innings. In the 6th, they put 5 runs up on the board.
And they did so against a high-powered offense, Bruton Parker, who's done their fair share of scoring so far in this tournament.
Ground ball, base hit into left. That will put 2 men aboard with 1 out. Price continuing his hot hitting. And I like the way you put it. They're not going to worry about how hot they are. They are warmed up. They're in a groove. And we just saw a hard hit ball right there from Price. Bacham stops at second. Price at first. 1 out for the DH, Daniel Gooden.
How many times have you heard leadoff walks come back to hurt you? And that one that got away from Porter, that now Brock out at second. That's going to be a tough one for Porter to get his mindset back into play and get out of this little hole he's dug himself.
Yeah, it seems like the leadoff walk or hit batsman ends up scoring a lot more than a leadoff base hit does. Maybe it gets on the pitcher's mind, who knows? But you don't want to give either of these teams extra free bases because both can score runs. Fastball misses outside. Daniel Gooden had a hit and a run scored, actually 2 hits in the ball game this afternoon. We started late for 2 reasons. Tell you about after this pitch. The 1-0 on the way, and it's a fastball up high. Last night, Emmanuel's game with Trinity Baptist College ended about quarter after 11. So the two coaches, actually all the coaches involved today, agreed to start an hour later to give them a little extra rest. And then that ball game this afternoon ran long, so that's why we're starting at 5 instead of the original 3 o'clock start time. But that does give the Royals an advantage because the temperatures aren't quite as intense as they were earlier. And even though it's just as warm, the sun's not coming directly down on them as it did the Lions earlier today. 3 balls, no strikes. And ball 4 just misses up and outside. Porter has hit a man and now walked a man with a base hit sandwiched in between. So the bases are loaded. Bauckham at third, Price at second, Gooden at first. Jacob Teston at the plate. He was my player of the game earlier this afternoon. He had 4 RBIs on 3 hits and also scored a run. Left-hand hitter, chance to put his team out in front very early on. 1 out, here's the pitch, and it misses low and inside.
And he wisely takes the inside pitch after seeing 4 straight from Porter. Porter's going to have to battle back and get this here. And if you're thinking at the plate, you're testing, you really just want to put the ball in play. You're pretty much, you can hit it anywhere and get a run in to score and break that 0-0 on the scoreboard.
And don't try to do too much. Just get the ball with a runner at third, 1 out. A lot of ways to get him home. That was a good take. I mean, Porter missed with 5 straight, so Teston wants to make sure he gets a pitch to his own liking. You don't have to hit every strike unless you have 2 strikes already.
Knowing he's struggling a little bit on the mound, if you're testing, I'm almost thinking fastball right here, 1-1 count. He finally got one across and he'll probably come back with another. And there's
chopper, foul.
He got what he wanted, just a little too antsy.
Out in front, that ball didn't miss by much, and with the first baseman, Haney, well off the line, that would have scored at least 2 had it stayed fair. Haney is further down the baseline towards second than the runner, Gooden. Big hole right down the line for Jacob Teston. Outfield pretty much straight away. Porter takes a long look in. Ready for the 1-2, and it misses up high. Count even at 2-2. Warner has defeated Toccoa Falls 10-3. Bruton Parker 12-8. Nope, 6-5 in 11 innings. I was looking at another score for Bruton. So you've had to play only 2 games so far. You can close it off with only 3 ball games. High fly ball might score the run. Center fielder Parks drifting over, and that got carried out by the wind a lot further than it looked off the bat. And Emmanuel is on the board as Bachman crosses. It's 1-0.
Even right there, testing, that's all you need to do. You just got to put the ball in play, hits a sac fly out to center, and then now they take a 1-0 lead early on here in the top of the first.
Well, the leadoff batter was hit. That was Swindell. I mean, he was erased, but still the effect of that leadoff hit batsman. Bachman reached on a fielder's choice. He's the one that came around to score. Bases are not loaded anymore. First and second, 2 outs for Jake Nichols. This guy earlier today, I would have given him the gold glove. First pitch from Porter, low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Nichols made 3 diving snags on the infield, handled very hard hit balls at him the entire ball game. At the plate, drove in a run, scored twice, had himself a base hit. Here's the 1-0. Porter takes the look, now delivers, and misses well outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Trace Porter on the mound. Got himself in a jam. He hit a man, he's walked one, allowed a base hit, a sac fly, scored the run, but he can get out of this inning now with minimal damage, give his offense a chance to get that run back. Here's the 2-0. First and second, 2 outs for Jake Nichols. This guy earlier today, so 3 balls, no strikes now. Hello, Mr. David, hopefully I'm saying this right, Dietert, saying it's 105 degrees in Arizona. That's where he's watching from, so he doesn't feel sorry for us in the 80s. This pitch is outside, and that loads up the bases.
105, but in Arizona, that's dry heat, what they say, so it doesn't feel as hot as it is out here, high 80s with unbearable humidity.
Well, we've been lucky this week, not much humidity to worry about. Hasn't rained here for quite a while. That's had a lot to do with it, but a lot of people call Florida the Sunshine State. Those people never likely visited here in the month of June, because you don't call it sunshine then. It rains almost the entire month, and we're going to hit month of June before too long. There's a conference on the mound, bases loaded, 2 outs. Porter's had some trouble finding the zone, and he's going to face the number 7 man, center fielder Dustin McNichol.
And that was Royals pitching coach Aaron Cares right there. He's just out there talking to Porter, just letting him know, hey, you're really not in that much trouble. Just trust your offense. They're going to come back out and score for you. Just get out with minimal damage right here, get a ground ball, and produce the third.
Yeah, use your defense. McNichol, 2 hits, 2 runs earlier today against the Barons. This one misses well outside in the dirt, and a nice block. Mick Tinney behind the plate. We've also seen Martinez in this tournament. Tinney back there for what they hope to be the final game of this NCCAA South region, but that base hit is in center. Could score 2. Here's 1. We're going to have a play at the plate. The throw is in time.
Absolute amazing play. Good throw on the money right there from Parks to cut that down and stop that extra run from scoring.
We'll count that as an RBI base hit for Dustin McNichol. Price scored to make it 2-0. A perfect throw from Cole Parks retires the side. 2 runs, 2 hits, couple of walks, and a man left. After a half inning, Warner leads it 2-0. Go to the bottom of the first, and Kyle, already I made my first big blunder. It's Emmanuel leading 2-0.
Hey, it's a lot of baseball games, and they're almost done, right?
Well, you know, people insult each other by saying you've been out in the sun too long. Well, I've been out in the sun every day this week.
That's right. I got to admit, I was home yesterday, and I popped up the game on my TV, and I was laying on the couch.
A little bit different out here in the, well, I guess we can't complain in the 80s, because Mr. David out in Peoria, 105, and he says it's probably going to go a little higher tonight. Well, we wish you well, David. Hope your AC is working just fine. Rio Russell, Jesse Haney, Junior Fermin are due up for the Warner University Royals as we start the bottom of the first.
Now Russell standing in, he currently ranks second. I know you know Warner is NAIA and NCCAA affiliated, but he ranks number 2 in the NAIA in total triples on the year with 8.
We've seen him running this week. This guy can book it. Here's a first pitch on the freshman. Tell you about him as we get another opportunity. This one was close, but it is called ball 1. Bailey, a 7.25 ERA, a record of 2-3, making his 15th appearance and 9th start. Russell squares around and ball hit the bat. Looked like he was actually trying to get out of the way of that inside pitch, but he fouled it off.
Turned into a defensive bunt at the end. Good call at home plate.
And a break for the pitcher, Bailey, also. Big difference between 1-2 and 2-1. So now Bailey can throw the pitch he wants to rather than giving in. Hard hit ball into the hole and a base hit for Rio Russell. So just like the Lions did, slightly different way, Warner has a leadoff man aboard. Jesse Haney at the plate. He is a Warner first baseman. Nobody out. Very good speed on the base paths.
Russell out at first is 28 for 36 in attempts on the year. And being down 2-0 so far just after the top of the first, we'll be interested to see how Coach Sykes is going to run this game. That one sneaks inside, pops Haney in the shoulder. So now that's going to put runners on first and second for the Royals.
Each pitcher has now hit a batter, and we're in the first inning. There have been a lot of hit batsmen in this tournament, and many of them, just like you saw, just grazing the uniform, or in this case, the forearm, and a couple of elbows. And a couple of them that hit the batter square in the back or something like that, but most of them have just been scrapers like we just saw.
And if you're Bailey, one thing that you got to watch out for now, you just put runners on first and second, but now you got Junior Fermin stepping in already in the past 2 games in this tournament, 7 RBIs.
He's gone deep also. I remember that coming Tuesday afternoon. I believe that was a 2-run shot and a no-doubter. 2 runners on base. Bailey from the stretch, turns and fires. The throw beat the runner, but it was to the wrong side of the bag. Good pickoff move. Get that ball to the left side, and that runner's out.
Very good quick move. Bailey and his defense is definitely aware of the base running capabilities by the Royals.
Fermin has a huge gap in right center as Dustin McNichol is shading the hitter to pull, and right fielder Skeggs, I wouldn't say he's hugging the line, but he's giving a lot of room in the gap. Breaking ball in there, good pitch by Bailey.
Look at that movement by that curveball from Bailey.
No balls and a strike. Fermin with a chance to cut the deficit in half, maybe tie the game with a gapper. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt, both runners will advance. So Russell moves to third, Haney to second. That's a wild pitch on Ethan Bailey. There's Mr. Steve Vonk again. He's joined us for almost every game, saying it's 73 in San Diego. Can't get much better than that.
We are going to officially vote if it does go an extra game. We're taking it over to California.
Swing and a miss, or a foul tip actually. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, Steve, you heard it here. Of course, Kyle offered to buy everyone's plane ticket also.
Well, I'm going to call up Brandon Gilmore there at NCCAA, and I'm pretty sure that they'll fit the bill there.
Hot shot, but foul right down the line. Count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Fermin got a pitch to handle, and he was out in front.
Fermin going to tighten up. He does have that 1-2, but now he's looking at runners at second and third versus first and second, and a for sure chance to plunk a base hit through and tie this ball game up.
Bailey sets in a jam, nobody out. Here's the pitch, and it misses outside. So both starting pitchers having some trouble finding the zone in the first inning. Both offenses have gotten at least 2 men on before recording an out. Or check that 1 out for Emmanuel. Then they had the 2 runners on. Bouncing ball up the middle, will score a run. Throw over to first is in time. Shortstop Chase Parker did the right thing. He had no chance to get either of the runners. That's an RBI for Fermin, and I believe that is number 8 on the tournament. So the deficit's cut in half. It's 2-1. Haney moves on to third. One out for the cleanup hitter, Cole Parks, who made that perfect throw to the plate to end top of the first.
Parks is definitely one of those guys. He thrives off that situation where something needs to be done. And again, he's faced right here with one out. All he needs is a fly ball.
Swing and a miss. Chased one upstairs. Might have been trying a little too much on there. Cole joined us on the microphone during that earlier ball game today. He's very well prepared. He knows your team is too. He knows his baseball. No balls and a strike. One out and a pitch on the way. Strike two. Very good location from Bailey.
Parks was actually early on in the year a perfect 19 for 19 before he was caught stealing on the base paths.
Well, we saw what he can do with the arm. We've seen him run some this tournament. That's a great record. And he chased two pitches out of the zone. Might have been a little bit too eager. And that is out number two, the first strikeout for Bailey. And that gives him a chance to get out of the inning with just the one run. Runner at third, 2 outs. Here's Jesse Alker, the designated hitter.
Alker likes this type of situation. He's got to get the run across. He's faced with 2 outs. You saw it in the game yesterday where he came through with that double into left field when they needed it the most and tied it up, sending it into extra innings.
Now a chance to tie the game in the first very early. You want to get that run, but it's not going to kill you if you don't. Both of these teams can score a lot of runs. That one missed outside, so the count is 1-1. Big ballpark. 340 down each line, 400 straight away. And this one misses down. It's 2 balls and a strike. We've had some home runs. We've also had some very close and caught. We've also had one guy robbed of a home run. I think that happened in your game yesterday with you guys batting. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Chris Starling on Bruton Parker reached over the fence and pulled one back. Forget right now who the batter was, but I know it was one of your guys.
Jesse Haney.
Jesse Haney, the first baseman.
Starling several plays in this tournament.
It's also thrown a guy out too. This one bounced. 3 balls, 2 strikes. That same inning, he caught that line drive. I wouldn't say right up against the fence, but it was pretty well hit, and he threw the guy out at first on the fly, trying to get back, and that was a double play. So he accounted for all 3 outs that inning. Payoff pitch, breaking ball. Ball 4 called. That one was very close. And wow, Swindell looking over at the dugout trying to get some help, but that puts another man on base. So Alker draws the walk, first one issued by Bailey. That one was tough to tell. I got the catcher and the umpire directly in front of me. I can't see the plate during the pitch.
It's a tough call to make. It was high in the zone, but Bailey has so much movement on his breaking ball that I believe it was called on late breaking, so it crossed the plate a little too high.
Ball 1 to Mick Tinney. He's the catcher, wearing number 38. We got 2 outs and runners at the corners. Alker at first, Haney at third. Bailey with the pitch and a ground ball to second. Fielded, little bobble, but that's Bachman able to stay with it and make the play to get the out. Warner gets a run. That happened on a ground ball RBI and cut the deficit in half after 1, 2-1 Emmanuel. After one, it's 2-1 in favor of the Emmanuel Lions. Both starting pitchers had a little trouble in the first, but give them credit. They hung in there and they made some pitches and got out of the innings. Wouldn't call them disastrous. I'd say a good job on recovering by both Porter and Bailey. Here's how we got to this ball game. Trinity Baptist fell to Bruton Parker in the opener. Bruton then defeated Emmanuel later that night. Warner over Toccoa Falls. Trinity Baptist then eliminated Toccoa Falls on Wednesday before they themselves bowed out, losing to Emmanuel. Warner defeated Bruton 6-5 and 11. Earlier today, Bruton and Emmanuel met, and Emmanuel won that ball game 12-7. And now if the Royals win, they are the South Region champions. Should Emmanuel win, we'll play it again tomorrow afternoon. Trace Porter ready for his second inning of work. Steven Skeggs at the plate. Here's the pitch. It's lined into right, but right at the right fielder. That's Rio Russell for out number 1.
Now batting number 3, Chase Parker.
So 1 out. Here's a shortstop, Chase Parker. Chase had an RBI and a run scored. A couple of hits earlier this afternoon against Bruton. Takes the first pitch, showed bunt, pulled it back, strike 1. Well, Porter is looking pretty good so far. Only a couple of pitches of the inning, but he's found the zone. And here's the 0-1. Grounded hard towards second. Troncoso scoops, throws to first, and it is in time for out number 2. Troncoso also playing very good defense. We've seen a lot of good defense from every team out here this week. A couple of errors, but there have been many spectacular plays. Top of the order, Philip Swindell. He was hit by a pitch. He was erased on a fielder's choice, but that did help open up that 2-run rally. High drive, right field. Russell is under it. Easy catch to retire the sign. So a bounce back inning for Trace Porter. He gets 3 outs on 4 pitches. Very efficient. And we go to the bottom of the second. Lions lead it 2-1. Bottom of the second, and 7-8-9 due up for Warner. Derek DeLear, Kevin Troncoso, and Xanders Vasquez. I'm Ray Bureau. I've been bringing you the action all week long. We've had some fans and some players from some of the teams join us. And for this ball game, we have Warner University's Sports Information Director and their own play-by-play man, Mr. Kyle Blue. Glad to have you with us. Number one, you can help me make sure I get your players' pronunciations right. You know, I've been saying dealer all week, and you told me it's DeLear. Hopefully I'm saving Kevin Troncoso correctly, or at least close.
Troncoso is good. Right there, let's take a look real quick at the top of the second. Porter able to battle back, but look at the mindset of the Lions. You see in the top of the first how Porter was here and there with his strike zone. He battles back and he comes back with several fastballs right back to back. And the Lions clued in on that. They were all looking dead red fastball. We saw 2 first pitch swings and they all connected, knew that a fastball was coming.
Here's Derek DeLear, the shortstop. Always great to have insight from someone who knows the team as well as you do. Here's the first pitch and a ground ball, fair ball down the left field line. DeLear will take the big turnaround first. He's going to go for two. Nope, he puts on the brakes on a great throw back to first, and he's safe. That's Hannon Price, and he's made a couple of great throws in this tournament. Dealer would have been out had he continued on to second. He got back, and the throw in and the relay throw from Bachman very nearly caught him trying to get back to first. Well, that's a leadoff single. That is a second hit for the Royals.
You know, it's tough for DeLear because you're battling to first, knowing out of the gate that you're going to try for two, and then all of a sudden the brakes get put up at first base coach there, David Moscovitz, and you've got to slam on the brakes and hurry up and get back to first.
He's had a very productive South Region tournament. So the first two men reach. Number 9 hitter Xanders Vasquez at the plate. Now the Royals attacking early in the we saw Emmanuel do that in the top half. That resulted in a 4-pitch inning for Trace Porter, right at the wrong line. Takes strike one. In case you joined us late, Emmanuel got 2 in the top of the first. Warner came back with 1 in the bottom half, and that's the scoring summary so far. Bailey takes a long look in. And the 0-1 curveball fouled off. No balls, 2 strikes.
Curveball from Bailey. He's got lots of movement. He can pinpoint it anywhere he wants, and he's only left it hanging 1 time so far out of 26 pitches.
Middle infielders near the bag looking to turn 2. Here's the 0-2, a breaking ball. That could be 2, 6, or 4, unassisted to first, and there's the double play we just talked about. Both middle infielders were heading toward the bag. That was Bachman who made the play, stepped on the bag, got the out at first, completed the double play, 2 outs. DeLear, though, does advance to third. So 90 feet away from tying up the game, and here's Rio Russell, who led off with a base hit, and he has scored the lone run for the Royals so far.
Now batting number 13, Rio Russell.
I have a feeling it's going to take more than 2 runs to win this game.
Definitely have 2 offenses ready to go and ready to open up. We've seen it so far in this tournament. Both teams not afraid to swing the bat.
Swing and a miss. That time Bailey not only got the curveball, but he took a lot off it. Had Russell well out in front. Center fielder McNichol playing him to pull. The gap is in left center. No balls and a strike. Bailey delivers, fastball, chopped right back to the box. Bailey's going to flip to first. Could have taken it himself, but he made the play to get out of the inning without a run scoring. Couple of hits, but no runs, and after 2, it's 2-1 Emmanuel. And we go to the top of the third. Brock Bachman will lead off. Hannon Price, Daniel Gooden. Got a little microphone malfunction for Kyle. If we can, we'll straighten that out, get him back on with us. This one is fouled off. Bachman down in the count, no balls and a strike. Trace Porter winds and delivers, and this one's outside for ball one. Here comes a 1-1 from Porter, and it's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Mr. Dieter watching grandson Braden Henley on the Emmanuel Lions team. Happy 19th birthday to Braden. Line drive, base hit into left. And Bachman's going to take a turn and head on for 2. Here comes a throw. It is not in time. That's a leadoff double for Bachman, and now the Lions looking to extend a 1-run lead. Little catcher-pitcher conference out there on the mound. So the leadoff double. Hannon Price at the plate. He singled and scored his first time up. Trace Porter will work from the stretch. He had a 4-pitch second inning. And here's a pitch, swing and a miss. He pulled the string very well for strike 1. Porter struggled through the first, settled down in the second. Now the leadoff double puts him back in the stretch with nobody out. No balls and a strike, and this one is fouled off. That was a good fastball. I like the way he changed speeds. He got a good slow curve to start, came back with the fastball, and Price was very late on the swing. It's not always how hard you throw, but it's keeping the hitters off balance. And if you can change speeds, you don't have to be excessively fast, but you can get the job done that way. There's a fastball outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Porter's taking his time between pitches, wants to make sure of himself. Now ready, big look back at second, and the 1-2 misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another long look in by the right-hander. Here's a pitch, swing and a miss. He chased one in the dirt. The throw will go to first. Here's Bachman trying to go to third. The throw is not in time. Again, the throw beat the runner, but to the wrong side of the bag. Now that's a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout for out number 1, but also on the throw, Brock Bachman takes third. Had that throw been on target, it would have gotten the runner. Here's Gooden. He walked his first time up, and he was a man thrown out at the plate. That was out number 3 to end the first. Here's the first pitch outside. Gotta like the aggressiveness we're seeing. Bachman hustled out of the box on his double. That allowed him to get to second base. Then he saw a chance and he took it, reached third, and here's the 1-0. Another good breaking ball right there for strike 1. Ball and a strike, 1 out, runner at third. Pitch on the way and it misses. So 2 balls and a strike. And again, Porter taking his time. 2-1 on the way. Pulled the string again, and Gooden well out in front. It's 2-2. Now Gooden has a lot of power. He came into the tournament with 10 home runs on the season. 10 home runs on a college season is fantastic. His teammate Philip Swindell came in with 10. He has 11 now. He homered against Trinity Baptist last night. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here's a pitch from Porter, and it is upstairs. I believe Gooden leads the team in RBIs. He's in the 40s, that much I remember. I'm going to take a peek when I get a chance here. Payoff pitch, and it's fouled back. Gooden came into the tournament with 40 RBIs. He's added a couple to that. So another payoff pitch coming from Trace Porter. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Second consecutive strikeout for Porter, number 2 overall as well. And it brings up the first baseman, Jacob Teston.
Up to bat, number 22, Jacob Teston.
Jacob had an RBI sac fly. That happened in the first. Brought home the first run of the game. Porter from the windup now, and another curveball for strike 1. Trace is slowing it down instead of, when he gets behind, trying to overthrow like many young pitchers will do. He's taking a lot off it, and he's keeping the hitters off balance. Trying to keep that runner at third, and a pitch on the way that gets by the catcher, and that's going to allow the third run to score. Baucom hustled on the double, hustled to take the extra base on a strikeout, and he scores on a passed ball. So that charge to Tinney, and it's 3-1 in favor of the Lions. Count of 1-1 on Jacob Teston. Pitch on the way, in the dirt. So the leadoff double comes in to score. 2-run lead now for the Lions. And a 3-1 on the way. Ground ball towards second. Troncoso scoops, flipped to first, side retired. 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left, and we go to the bottom of the third. Lions lead it 3-1. Bottom of the third coming up, and 2, 3, and 4 due up for Warner University. Jesse Haney, Junior Fermin, and Cole Parks. One final in the majors this afternoon. Philadelphia defeated San Francisco 6-3. Velasquez the winner, Blatch the loser, and Neris with his 8th save. Blanco, Hansen homered for the Giants, and Santana for Philadelphia. Red Sox at Yankees. Rodriguez against Sabathia. Kansas City at Baltimore tonight. Mariners at the Blue Jays. Braves are in Miami. Brewers at the Rockies. Nationals in Phoenix to take on the D-backs. Twins and Angels. Cardinals piled 1 run in 2 1/3. It is earned. He has allowed 3 hits. He's walked a man and struck out 1. Hit a batter and has thrown a wild pitch. And this one on the way. That's a hard fastball. Probably the fastest one he's thrown so far tonight. No balls and a strike, and there's strike 2. Bailey getting ahead of the hitter. No balls, 2 strikes. And here comes the 0-2. Fastball, he climbed the ladder and he got the man to chase. Fermin took one out of the zone and he's out on strikes. That is number 2 for Bailey. And it brings up Cole Parks, the center fielder. He was a first strikeout victim that came in the first inning. Bailey stands at 5'10", 150 pounds. He's a pretty hard thrower, especially for his size. Here's a first pitch and a breaking ball misses. Ethan Bailey, a freshman from Sugar Hill, Georgia, Lanier High School. Emmanuel College, Franklin Springs, Georgia. In fact, they're wearing Franklin Springs jerseys out there on the field today. Here's the 1-0, and this one misses up high. Front of their jerseys say Franklin Springs. This is Emmanuel College, who came into today's game with an overall record of 24-25, and Warner University at 29-24. Emmanuel, the number 1 seed in the South Region Tournament, number 3 in all of NCCAA. Warner came in at number 2, and as we expect, top 2 teams squaring off for the title. Warner also a member of the NAIA. I believe you're in the Sun Conference, Kyle? That is correct, he says. Sorry about the microphone. It just stopped working. Sometimes technology will do that. Just doesn't do what you want it to do. 2 balls and a strike. And here's Bailey with the pitch downstairs. It's 3-1. That Sun Conference, that is a brutal conference to play in. Southeastern University, Florida Memorial, Kaiser University. Offhand, I'm not sure about Thomas. They might be in a different one, but they're a very tough team also. Strike 2 called. Of course, Trinity Baptist, our host school, team I work for, we play a lot of the Sun Conference teams, and of course we've seen them on this field. We can tell you that is tough competition. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch from Bailey, a breaking ball. Parks started to chase, but he held up and he draws the 2-out walk. Second one issued by Bailey, so a runner at first with 2 outs for Jesse Alker. He drew the other walk. That came in the first. You know, Trinity Baptist, 7 seniors leaving. A whole lot of freshmen on this year's squad. There's some talent out there. Give them a chance to play together. They're going to be just fine. The Eagles of Trinity Baptist College, that's the team I work for. John Copeland, the head baseball coach. John D. Jones, the athletic director. He's also the men's basketball coach. We credit them. Patrick Milligan, assistant athletic director. Throw to first. And the runner's just back in time. I want to go ahead and give the credits now in case this is the final game. They're the ones that help make it possible for you to watch these games this week. No balls and a strike. Runner's on the move. Pitch is called a strike. Throw down is late. Alker nearly came off the bag, but he held on. So that's a stolen base, or rather Parks, Alker the hitter. And the pitch was called a strike. So a runner at second, now the umpire calling time. Now giving Alker a chance.
33rd this year.
Kyle's giving me some information. I'm gonna see if he can repeat that for me.
33rd stolen base.
Stolen base number 33 for Cole Parks. He's all right, just checking his arm after the slide. The heat and the sun have dried up the field, and it makes it hard, especially on those going in on the slide. And this one is fouled off. Alker staying alive, no balls, 2 strikes. 33 steals. That's a lot. You have played 53 games. That's Ricky Henderson pace there.
He's 33 for 40.
33 out of 40, says Kyle Blue.
Leads the team.
By far leads the team. He's off again, and this one's laced down the left field line, a base hit. That's going to score the run. Parks crosses. Here's Alker heading into second with an RBI double. Parks used his speed to get into scoring position. He was off on the move. No chance, even if the ball had been fielded in left field. It got into the corner, and it pulls Warner to within a run. It's 3-2. Alker with the RBI, and it brings up Mick Tinney, the catcher. He's 0 for 1. Runner at second, the representing the potential tying run, Jesse Alker. 2 outs. Bailey delivers the first pitch, and it gets away from the catcher, and that's going to allow Alker into third. That's a pass ball charged to Philip Swindell. So Tinney now has a runner at third. There are 2 outs. A little tougher to bring him in with 1 out or none. Many different ways to score from third. But now it's going to be on Swindell to block anything in the dirt. That is a potential tying run. It's still early, only the 3rd inning. 2 high-scoring offenses. So you want to try to stop the other team as much as possible. Here's the 1-0 from Bailey. It is upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. DeLear waiting on deck. Bailey slowing it down now, making sure of himself. Just needs to get an out, keep that tying run from scoring, and this one is fouled off. 2 balls and a strike. Of course, we also thank Brandon Gilmore and the staff he works with at NCCAA, scheduling the South Region Tournament here in Jacksonville. It's the first time we've had the baseball tournament. We've had all of the other sports that Trinity participates in here in the last few years. And here's a 2-1. Breaking ball hit up the middle and into center field, and that ties the game. Alker scores. Tinney comes through in the clutch. Didn't hit it particularly hard, but found no man's land, and he brought home the run, and we're tied at 3. That's the 5th hit off Bailey.
Taylor Briggs in the run at first.
Taylor Briggs is a courtesy runner for Tinney. And the pitch is strike call to Derek DeLear. He is 1 for 1. Of course, courtesy runner in both NAIA and NCCAA allows speed up rule, pitcher and catcher to get ready to come out on the defensive side. This one is fouled off. DeLear may have chased one out of the zone. Got a piece of it. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch is upstairs. Count is 1-2. 2 runs are in. RBI hits from Alker a double, Tinney a single. and we're tied at 3. Big lead off first. And the 1-2 from Bailey. High pop fly right behind the infield. Bauckham being called off. And the right fielder Skeggs makes the play. Much easier for the outfielder coming in. That was a correct call, and that retires the side. 2 runs on 2 hits, a walk, and we go to the 4th, all tied at 3. After 3, we are tied at 3. Emmanuel got 2 in the first, 1 in the third. It's been reversed actually for Warner. 1 in the first, 2 in the third. Jake Nichols, Dustin McNichol, and Steven Skeggs due up for the Lions. Trace Porter has pitched 3 innings, 3 runs, all of them earned. He's allowed 3 hits, he's walked 2 and struck out 2. Jake Nichols steps in, no official at bat. He walked his first time up. This is a tapper right in front of the plate. It's a fair ball, and a throw to first is in time. That ball bounced right in front of the plate, stayed fair, and Tinney came out, got himself a good angle to make the throw, and he fired a bullet to get the out. 1 out, Dustin McNichol at the plate. He had an RBI single in the first. Porter's first pitch misses up a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. And Porter with the windup, pulled the string again and got the strike. McNichol drove one into center. That brought home a run on the same play. Center fielder Parks filed a bullet to home and cut down a second run trying to score. That ended the inning, and now we're tied up at 3. 2 balls and a strike. Parks made that throw on the fly all the way to the plate. This one a little bit low, 3 balls, 1 strike. Another long look in by Trace Porter. And the pitch, ball 4, puts a runner on base. That's a 3rd walk for Porter.
Up to bat, number 19, Steven Skeggs.
So here comes Skeggs. Seen him a lot at the plate, and he's come through many times. Runner at first, 1 man out. Skeggs at the plate, he's 0 for 1. Hit the ball hard his first time up, line to right. Another long look in from Porter. Now from the stretch, modest lead at first and a breaking ball. Snap throw, runners back in time. McNichol not leading off all that far. Trace Porter, a freshman from Bartow, Florida. 6'5" he's listed as on WarnerRoyals.com. Here's a pitch, and this one hits the batter right in the back. That's a second man that Porter has hit. Puts runners at first and second, a walk and a hit batsman. 1 out for the shortstop, Chase Parker. Kyle's that right, 6'5"?
Now batting number 3.
That's what it says on Trace Porter.
With the old baseball adage, bump up an extra inch or two. I give him 6'3". But that's what he wrote down on his roster for him.
Kyle says that is accurate according to the way things are recorded. And we're going to have a timeout and a trip to the mound. We're going to have runners at first and second. We'll pause here. When we resume, Chase Parker will be at the plate with 2 men on and 1 out. All right, ready to resume. Parker at the plate. Dustin McNichol walked. Skeggs was hit by a pitch. Runners are at first and second. 1 out. Tied up at 3. Bottom, or actually top of the 4th. Porter's pitch hits the outside corner. Warner trying to win the tournament today. Emmanuel trying to force game number 9 tomorrow afternoon. Here's a pitch from Porter. Slap towards short. Throw to second for 1. Relay. Not in time. First baseman Haney doing the splits, and he kept the ball out of the dugout. McNichol advances. Fielder's choice for Parker. 2 outs for the top of the order, Philip Swindell. I couldn't do that even when I was in college. Not even going to think about it now. Not sure what the reason for the delay is, but looks like everyone's ready now. Swindell hit by a pitch. Fly ball to right, 0 for 1. Runners at the corners. Here's the pitch, and it misses up and away. Pace is really slowed here in the top of the 4th. The 1-0 on the way is inside, and a late strike call. Count is 1-1. Parker bluffed as if he was going to steal. He took a few steps, then stopped. So a ball and a strike. And Porter with the 1-1. Little change-up that dipped down into the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another long look in. And here comes the 1-2. Runners going. Pitch is up high. Throw down to second is in time. He is out. That was a terrific throw from Tinney. Troncoso on the coverage. And with that caught stealing, Swindell will lead off when we come back in the 5th. Tied up at 3, going to the bottom of the 4th. 3-3 tie as we go to the bottom of the fourth, and Kyle has just told me that this is not the only South Region Championship game between Warner and Emmanuel. They're meeting up this Saturday in softball for the South Region Championship. That's going to be a doubleheader this Saturday, and it is at Emmanuel College. So one of these teams has a possibility of bringing home the trophy in both baseball and softball. Here's the first pitch from Bailey and a high fly ball. Troncoso, it's got a chance, and it is off the wall. Troncoso hustling all the way. He pulled into second with a double. Ball went out a little further than it looked like at first. And then I thought it might have a chance, but where he hit it, it has to be about 385 to 390. That's a long way out here. It's 400 to straightaway center. Well, 2 for 2 now is Kevin Troncoso, and the leadoff man is at second. And here's the left fielder, Xanders Vasquez. Troncoso homered earlier this week. He pulled that one more to the left of the light tower you see out there in left center. Bailey spins around, nothing going on. Ball hit right off the fence, maybe about halfway up. He really put a charge into it. So Vasquez, an RBI opportunity to put his team in front. And the pitch is in the dirt. Troncoso takes off, and there's no throw. That's a wild pitch, the second one for Ethan Bailey. Runner at third, nobody out. Golden opportunity for the Royals to claim the lead. It would be the first lead today. So here's where Vasquez just wants to make some good contact. Just do what it takes to get the run home. Here's the 1-0. And he fouls this one off. It hit off the catcher before it trickled out into fair territory. So a ball and a strike. Vasquez in the box, 1-1. Bailey's pitch in the dirt and blocked. 2 balls and a strike. Bailey looks in, stretch with a runner at third, and the pitch hits the batter right in the helmet. That'll put Vasquez at first. That was a curveball. Bailey lost control of it. That's the second man he has hit. And now we're going to have a trip to the mound. Runners at the corners, nobody out. And that is going to be it for Ethan Bailey. New man coming to the mound, we'll tell you about after the break. We'll pause here. Runners at the corners in a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the fourth. New man on the mound for Emmanuel College, number 1, Colton Bridges, making his second appearance of the tournament. He came in last night against Trinity Baptist College as well. He's inheriting a tough situation. Runners at the corners, nobody out. And the leadoff man, Rio Russell, at the plate. Ethan Bailey, 3+ innings, 3 earned runs, but he's responsible for the 2 on base. Give the rest of his line after this pitch from Colton Bridges. It is down and away for ball 1. 6 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He also hit 2 men and threw 2 wild pitches. So Bridges on. Again, a tough situation. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Big lead off first and a throw to first, and that's a balk. He started toward the plate, then stopped his motion, and that brings in the go-ahead run. So the balk allows Troncoso to score his leadoff double. Got him to third on a wild pitch, and now there's a runner at second with nobody out.
You know if there's any difference between NCAA D2 and NAIA on that ruling?
Now he lifted his leg as if he was going to pitch, then he turned. You know, that is a balk. And the coach for the Lions out there arguing the call. Had a question asked of me if there's a difference between NAIA balk rules and NCCAA. Not to my knowledge. And I could tell right away. He lifted his leg and then put it down and turned to first. So now, a runner at second with nobody out and 1 run in. Warner now leads at 4-3. Rio Russell at the plate still with an RBI opportunity. So Bridges with the pitch and a high pop up behind the infield, shallow center. It is down for a hit. Here's a runner stopping at third. Base hit for Russell, and a very tough Sun might have gotten in the way of the center fielder, Dustin McNichol. Right now, the Sun is behind us, behind home plate, and the outfielder's looking at it. It's still a little bit above the trees. It's going to take a while before it gets behind the trees and not have the effect. All 3 outfielders, especially left and center, they're going to have to look directly into the sun on a ball just like that, and that made it tough. Base hit, runners at the corners, and a fastball is upstairs. Jesse Haney at the plate. He's been hit by a pitch, and he's popped up to the left fielder. One ball, no strikes. Runners going, and a drive towards left field. It's well hit, but it may be caught, and it is. Runner tags from third. He will score. Another runner hustling back to first, and he makes it back in time. Vasquez scores, and it's 5-3 Warner. That is a sacrifice fly for Haney and an RBI. First out of the inning, here comes Junior Fermin. He's 0 for 2, but he has driven a run. That came in the first on a ground ball to the shortstop. That scored Russell with the Royals' first run. 5-3 now, Warner leads. Rio Russell, the runner at first, 1 out. And a pitch out gets away from the catcher. Russell was not going, but he will take second on the play. That's a wild pitch, charged to Bridges. Whoa, man, a big gust of wind just blew my papers. Lineup card, at least it's one I no longer need. 1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch. Well, I like the breeze. It feels really good, but it can be an inconvenience. And now sand is blowing up all over everybody in the bleachers. Here's a 1-1 and a tapper foul. There's no rain in the forecast, but I do see some dark clouds starting to form. And the batter's hit by the pitch, and that's going to put Fermin aboard. That is a 5th batter hit by a pitch in this ball game. 3 Royals have been hit, 2 Lions. Parks at the plate with 2 men on and 1 out. Now, 0% chance of rain according to News4Jax, the app that I use here in Jacksonville. It's pretty accurate too. There's a runner on his way to third. He's caught between second and third. Russell is trying to get back to second, and 2 men on base. Tag them both. And what that means is the trail runner, Junior Fermin, is the man out. Because that bag belonged to Rio Russell. He got back safely. Third baseman Jake Nichols made the right play. Tagged the lead runner first and then tagged the trail runner, and that means Fermin is out. Let's see if I got this right now. 1, 5, 4, 5 on the putout, if I saw that correctly. 2 outs either way. Runner at second and a high pop-up, shallow right field. Skeggs comes in, camps under it, and makes the catch to retire the side. 2 runs in, very costly balk, and a base hit by Russell. And we go to the 5th. It's 5-3 Warner University. We go to the 5th. Warner University just scored 2 runs to take a 5-3 lead, and they're going to send in a new pitcher, senior Kevin Wolf, who wears number 37. I don't recall seeing him earlier in this tournament. This may be his first appearance. Trace Porter went 4 innings. He allowed 3 runs, all of them earned, 3 hits. He walked 3. That's where the real trouble started. 2 of those came in the first inning. Also struck out 2 men. And now the senior Kevin Wolf tasked with keeping the Lions at bay, and he's inheriting a 2-run lead. So Kevin Wolf will take over. Trying to find the numbers on Wolf. I don't see, oh, that's because I'm looking in the fielding category. Might help if I scroll down to the pitching. Kevin Wolf, 1 win, no losses, 395 earned run average. He's making his 8th appearance, 2 of those starts, 13 2/3 innings. He has allowed 6 earned runs, 8 total. He is inheriting a 2-run lead as we start the top of the 5th. Swindell was at the plate when Chase Parker was caught stealing to end the 4th, so he's up there now with a fresh count. Top of the order, followed by Bauckham and Price. So Wolf ready to make his first pitch of the tournament, and it is a strike. No balls and a strike. Wolf just now into the game. Here's the pitch. It is slapped foul toward the left side. So the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Wolf takes a long look in. And now the 0-2, swing and a miss, he got him. So Wolf strikes out the first man he faces, and it brings up second baseman Brock Balkum. He's already scored twice. Doubled his last time up, reached on a fielder's choice in the first, came around both times. Wind is starting to pick up. It's blowing straight in from center field right into your screen. 1 out, base is empty, and the pitch, line drive, base hit into right. First pitch swinging is Balkum. That's his second hit. So a runner at first with 1 out. Number 3 man, left fielder Hannon Price at the plate. He is 1 for 2 with a run scored. Down on strikes his last time up. All right, the wind gust has stopped, at least for now. Some darker clouds starting to move in from the north side, it looks like. We're on the west side of town. And the pitch is a changeup in there for a strike. Kevin Wolf, a senior from Winter Haven. Warner University also right there in that area, so not far to go from Winter Haven High School to Warner University. Lake Wales, I believe, and the throw to first, and the runner's back in time. Down in Central Florida in the Orlando area. Might have heard Kyle a little earlier talking about the traffic. Well, we have our own share here in Jacksonville. Rush hour right now. Don't want to be downtown. No balls and a strike, and changeup is fouled straight back. Dean, our cameraman, he's my son. He got his first taste of downtown driving a few nights ago. He said, though, there was hardly any traffic because it was well into the evening. Let me see you try it on Friday about 5:30. Of course, I don't mind bragging about my son again. He's about to graduate from Trinity Christian Academy. He's a senior in the high school, shares the same facilities and campus here as Trinity Baptist College. He spent his entire schooling from kindergarten right here at Trinity Christian. And Wolf lifts the leg, throws to first. Now the lefty looking right at the bag, he does have a rule to follow. That leg can come straight up and then he can still go either way, first or home. There's a 45-degree imaginary line drawn. If he crosses that line, then he has to go to the plate. Here's the 1-2. Long look in and the pitch. This one misses up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Of course, if that leg crosses the left foot, the back foot, then he must make the pitch to the plate also. Wolf takes his time between pitches, and here comes a 2-2. High drive way back in left field. Forget about it. It is long gone. Hannon Price has just tied up the game with a no-doubter 2-run homer over the left field fence. Balkum, who had singled his way aboard, he scores on the blast, and we're tied at 5. Well, Kyle, we talked about earlier how both these teams can put a lot of runs on the board, and we're seeing it here. 5-5 in inning number 5. Daniel Gooden, also a very powerful young man. He's at the plate. He's a cleanup hitter. He has walked and struck out. Hannon Price with the 2-run homer to tie up the game. That's his second hit and second run that he has scored. Tinney out to the mound. And now back behind the plate. And we're ready to resume. Brand new ball game. Of course, Warner trying to win the tournament tonight. Emmanuel wants to force game number 9 tomorrow afternoon. And the first pitch to Gooden is called strike 1. That ball one-hopped the trees out there behind left field. We said this a few times. Between the fence and the trees, there's enough room for a 2-lane road. We've seen cars driving back there many times. That one hopped into the woods. Here's a breaking ball that stays a little bit inside. Where he hit it, a little bit to the left of the light tower, around 350 to 355. Here comes the 1-1 from Kevin Wolf. Breaking ball, foul. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Wolf again taking his time. And now ready. And the pitch hits the batter. That's a 6th man to be hit in this ball game. 3 for each team. That's the first one Kevin Wolf has hit. That's a breaking ball. Puts a runner at first with 1 out. At the plate now, first baseman Jacob Teston. He's 0 for 1 with an RBI. That came in the first, a sac fly to center. Wolf delivers and hit hard to the first baseman. Haney will go to second, and he throws it into left field. Haney right by the bag. Might have been better thought to go ahead and get the out. But that's going to go as an error on the first baseman. So Gooden at second, Teston now at first. 1 man out for third baseman Jake Nichols. He is 0 for 1. He has walked. And he hit a little tapper right in front of the plate his last time up. Timeout now. Coach heading out to the mound. Emmanuel scored first. They got 2 runs in the first. Warner came back with a run in the bottom half. Emmanuel added 1 in the third. And then the Royals tied it up with 2 in the bottom of the third. 2 runs in the fourth for Warner. And now a 2-run homer off the bat of Price has tied the score. And a new pitcher is heading in. And we'll tell you about him after the break. We are tied at 5 in the top of the 5th. When we resume, runners at first and second and 1 man out. New pitcher for Warner University, number 25, Jake Leifer. He has a record of no wins, 1 loss, a 797 earned run average. This is his 14th appearance. He has started 3 times, a total of 20 1/3 innings. He has allowed 18 earned runs, and he's inheriting another tough situation. 2 runs are already in, 1 out, runners at first and second. Leifer, a sophomore from Longwood, Florida, Orangewood Christian School. Jake Nichols will be Leifer's first hitter. He has walked and he has tapped in front of the plate. 0 for 1. Now a chance for Emmanuel to reclaim its lead. It's 5-5, 2-run shot from Hannon Price earlier this inning. Right-handed Jake Leifer is ready with the pitch, and it's downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Long look in by Leifer. And the 1-0 in there for a strike. Wind is starting to pick up again. It's been on and off most of the ball game. When it blows, it's coming straight in from center field. Not excessively hard, but it will knock down a ball way up in the air. This fastball inside, 2 balls and a strike. Gooden at second. He was hit by a pitch. Teston reached on an error. He's at first. And the 2-1 on the way. High fly ball into center field. Should be caught, and it is. That is Parks making the catch, and all runners will hold. Gooden started to tag, but remember that great throw from the center fielder Parks to throw out Gooden at the plate. Gooden returns, and that's a fly out for out number 2. Dustin McNichol at the plate. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI plus a walk. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Leifer got the first man he faced, trying to get out of the inning, and this pitch is in there for strike 1. Mr. Devin Kirkland, watching on YouTube, saying, "This is a baseball Leifer on the mound." 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch in the dirt and well blocked by Tinney behind the plate. Keeps the runners where they are. Hello, Mr. Kirkland and all the others watching on TBC Eagles on YouTube. Mr. Valk has joined us all week long. David Dietert or Detert, not sure which way you pronounce that. There's a chopper knocked down, but there's going to be no play. It does save the run from scoring. Fermin got a glove on it. Bases are loaded. That's a base hit for Dustin McNichol, his 2nd hit of the ball game. So Gooden stops at 3rd, Teston at 2nd. McNichol at 1st for the right fielder, Steven Skeggs. He is 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch. 3 batters on each team have been hit by pitches. We're in the 5th. And the pitch is beautiful curveball for strike 1. No balls and a strike, and a pitch. Foul tip. Makes the count 0-2. It's 5-5, bottom of the 5th, bases loaded, 2-man out. Skeggs down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Two-run homer by Hannon Price has tied the score. That came with 1 out in the inning 4 batters ago. And Leifer will work from the windup with the bases loaded and the 0-2 on the way, and it misses up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leifer takes a long look in, wants to make sure of the sign, make sure he's getting the right pitch. And the delivery is fouled off just to the right side of the bag. Defensive swing. He had committed to it and he stayed on it, and he gets another pitch. So another 1-2 on the way. This one fouled back, a good rip by Skeggs. And just in case this is our final game, I want to thank everyone again. One of the best parts of it, getting to meet all the fans from the cities that don't really get to see very much. Of course, I love my TBC Eagles and their fans, and very glad to meet some of the players. And a high fly ball, shallow left field, should be an easy play for Vasquez, and he puts it away, and that retires a side. 2 runs on the home run by Hannon Price. The bases left loaded, and we go to the bottom of the 5th, all tied up at 5. Hopefully my lovely wife Beth was listening. That was one of her favorite songs. If so, she got to hear a few seconds of it as we go to the bottom of the 5th in a 5-5 tie. Of course, Beth and I next month, we're going to celebrate our 23rd wedding anniversary. Our son Dean, 18 years old, he works our camera for us. We bragged about him a few times this week. Here's a pitch on the way and a ground ball into right field and a base hit. Jesse Alker with his 2nd hit and 3rd time on base. So a leadoff single. And there's a runner at first for catcher Mick Tinney. Tinney at the plate. 1 out of 2 with a base hit and an RBI. That came in the 3rd inning. At that time, that base hit tied the score at 3. We're now tied at 5. There's a good fastball right down the middle for strike 1. One ball, or rather 1 strike, no balls. 8 games in 3 days. I'm going to stumble over myself once in a while. Curveball's in there for strike 2. I admit I'm no Vin Scully. I probably won't do this for 62 years. 62 years with one organization. Vin Scully, the best ever. Throw over to first, runner back. I'd put him on at night when I can't sleep just to listen to him announce a Dodgers game. The 0-2 on the way, and it's upstairs. Of course, his famous phrase, it's time for Dodger baseball. I'm a Cub and a Yankee fan. Also a Vin Scully fan. Here's the 1-2 on the way. Colton Bridges from the stretch and delivers. Now, time was called before the pitch, so that one does not count. So no pitch, count remains 1-2. Tinney chases one out of the zone, but he was able to get a piece of it and foul it off. Jesse Alker led off with a base hit. Tinney now at the plate, count of 1-2. Big lead off first by Alker. And the pitch, and another foul ball. There's a lot of room up here at Trinity Ball Yard. There's a row of trees and a pond behind us. It's a good 100 feet back there, however. Not many balls make it into the woods. So we're able to get them back. They can be $6 to $8 a pop. And a throw over to first, and the runner's back. Another long look in by Colton Bridges. Good battle between Bridges and Tinney. Here comes another 1-2. Throw again over to first, and the runner's also back safely. Another throw to first. Don't want to make too many throws over there. Two things can happen. Number one, you risk throwing the ball away. Number two, divides your attention, takes it off the hitter. And the 1-2, line drive, base hit. That might have just happened. And the ball took a high hop on the right fielder, but Skeggs was able to snare it, keep the runners at first and second. So base hit for Tinney.
Briggs coming in to run.
And as we saw earlier, Taylor Briggs, a courtesy runner for the catcher. That's a third hit off Bridges. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Here's a shortstop, Derek DeLear. 1 for 2, a base hit and a pop-up. And now the Royals, a chance to reclaim the lead. It's been a seesaw ball game. We're tied at 5, bottom of the 5th. Nobody out, 2 men aboard. And here's a pitch, a good curveball in there for a strike. Now the sun is starting to get behind the trees. That's going to help cool things down a little bit. Lights should come on before too long, but it will be a while before they take effect. Coming up on 7 o'clock, about 7 minutes away here in the Eastern time zone. No balls and a strike. Turn and throw to second, and runner's back in plenty of time. Bridges giving the runners a lot of attention. DeLear at the plate, down in the count. No balls, 1 strike. Big holes on the right side, and he tried to go that way and he fouled it off. Kept his hands in, but that front foot looked like it pulled off, and that made it a little tougher to stay on the ball. His mindset was to go to right. So with the second baseman covering, there's a big hole in the infield. Also a nice gap in right center. Here's the 0-2, and instead he turns around. Alker bluffed as if he was going to head toward third. And here comes the 0-2, swing and a miss, ball gets away, the batter's out, but both runners will advance. Runner already on first, so the occupation nullifies the chance for the batter to run. That is a wild pitch, however, allowing Alker to take third and Tinney second. One out, first strikeout for Colton Bridges. Second baseman Kevin Troncoso is 2 for 2 with a run scored, a single and a double. 2 RBIs waiting on the base paths. One out. Runner at third is Jesse Alker, Mick Tinney at second. Good fastball right on the corner for strike one. Go ahead runs on the bases. Bridges taking his time between pitches. Now the 0-1, little chopper towards short. That'll score a run. The throw to third is not in time. Alker scores a go-ahead run and Warner leads 6-5. Tinney is safe at third. It would have been a very tough play to get the speedy Troncoso. That's going to be an infield hit and an RBI for the Royals second baseman. I don't think they would have had a chance to get him at first, so that's a base hit. And it brings up Xanders Vasquez with runners at the corners and one out. And a pitch from Bridges, a check swing, and yes, he went around. Nice block by Swindell. Remember, Emmanuel is playing its second game in a row without a break in between. All they had was maybe 45 minutes to get some drinks, get something to eat, and they had to get right back out on the field. Here is the 0-1. Down in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Warner playing in only its third game of the tournament. Of course, that's what happens when you're a high seed and you stay out of the loser's bracket. They've earned that privilege. Here's a 1-1, a long drive into left field. And the wind is going to knock it down, and that's a base hit. Here comes a run, and it's a 2-run lead now for Warner as Tinney crosses the plate. Told you the wind is blowing in. That knocked the ball down. And Price had a little trouble judging it. 7-5 now in favor of Warner on the RBI base hit from Xanders Vasquez. Troncoso into second. These balls not hit particularly hard, but they're finding good holes, and that's going to be all for Colton Bridges. And it looks like Daniel Gooden, the DH, is going to head on out to the mound. Very hard throwing left-hander. Tell you about him when we come back. Runners at first and second, 7-5, Warner leads. Hard throwing left-hander Daniel Gooden, a senior from Griffin, Georgia, on the mound. We saw him pitch once earlier in this tournament. 2-1 coming in. ERA of 5.63. This man can throw hard, and he has a terrific breaking ball, as you might have just seen on that warm-up toss. He will inherit runners at first and second, and he's going to face the leadoff man, Rio Russell. Colton Bridges, 1 1/3, 4 runs, all earned. 6 hits. No walks and no strikeouts. So Warner answers the 2-run homer with 2 runs of its own. RBI singles from Kevin Troncoso and Xanders Vasquez scored Jesse Alker and Mick Tinney in succession. Both Alker and Tinney hit their ways aboard to lead off the inning. There's only 1 out, and the leadoff man Rio Russell is scheduled to hit next. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Emmanuel. 7 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Warner. And I know you've heard this already, but Warner, with a win tonight, will win the South Region and head up to Easley, South Carolina to participate in the NCCAA World Series. That begins at the end of the month. Emmanuel trying to make it back. They got there last year. They defeated Trinity Baptist College in the championship game a year ago. Trying to make it back, and they made it to the semifinal round, if I remember correctly, last year. They're going to have to come from behind again. They did it in the last inning, and they're trying to force a decisive game number 9 tomorrow. That ball game would start at 12 should it go to that game. Warner hasn't lost yet. This is only the 3rd game the Royals have had to play. Again, a high seed, won again, and that's the advantage of winning. Emmanuel came in as a top seed, lost the first game to Bruton Parker 12-8. Beat Trinity Baptist last night 10-0, and then won 12-7 over Bruton Parker earlier today. Now there's a discussion between 3 umpires and the Warner coach over on the 3rd baseline. I don't know what they're talking about, but that's causing us to wait a little bit more. Well, one major league score is final. Philadelphia 6, Giants 3. Everything else getting ready to start. Red Sox at Yankees, and the Yankees are going for the series sweep. They now lead Boston by 1 game in the American League East. The Yankees had a rough start, but they have won 16 out of 17 ball games. CC Sabathia on the mound. He's having a great bounce back year. He's struggled the last couple of years. Kansas City at Baltimore. Remember, the Royals got 10 runs in the first 2 nights ago. Baltimore won it last night. Seattle in Toronto. A couple nights ago, we got a no-hitter from the Seattle Mariners, a 6th one in their team history. Braves and Marlins in warm-up time also, just about ready to start. Daniel Gooden will take this time to keep himself loose. Boy, it's starting to feel really good now. Sun is going down. It's behind the trees. Lights are now coming on, so the entire field, nobody has to battle the sun anymore. Those lights, though, can get pretty bright. They can cause a little trouble on the ball hit up and making the fielders look at it from the correct angle. A little later on, Milwaukee at Colorado, Chacin and Marquez. Washington Nationals at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tanner Roark against Zach Greinke. Should be a good matchup. Greinke, 4.10 ERA, but it's still early in the season. 3 wins, 2 losses. Minnesota is at the Angels. Barrios against Richards. St. Louis out there in San Diego, Mr. Valk. Here's a ball game for you to watch later tonight. Michaelis against Lyles. Watched MLB Network a few days ago, Intentional Talk with Kevin Millar. Had Michaelis on there, talked about the bet that he received once to eat a live lizard, and he did it. That's why he's called the Lizard King on the Cardinals. Pitched a couple of years in Japan before he came back to St. Louis. Cincinnati at Los Angeles. Molly against Bueller out in LA. An abbreviated schedule in the majors, as happens a lot on Thursday night. Still delayed, and Emmanuel infielders taking a break. You know, they deserve it. They played a lot of baseball today. It wasn't cool like this all day as it is now. Well, we're going to pause here. When we're ready to resume, we'll remind you of the situation. It's a 7-5 Warner lead. Stay with us. Well, at least I now have a reason for the delay. Warner Sports Information Director Kyle Blue has gone down to the field. He tells me that they're trying to look up a rule to make sure that a little later in the game nothing will be wrong. Daniel Gooding is a designated hitter. He has come into the game as there's nothing wrong there. The question is, if he comes off the mound, can he stay as the DH? So that's the reason for the delay, according to Kyle Blue, whom you might have heard earlier in the broadcast before the microphone malfunctioned. So anyway, that's the reason for the delay. It's going to be a little bit longer, but keep watching your screen, and we'll be back when the players resume. All right, we're about ready to resume, and Warner Sports Information Director Kyle Blue has gotten the scoop. Kyle, what'd they say?
Well, the initial call on the field, they were trying to figure out the argument between whether the designated hitter is allowed to be removed, come into pitch, and then leave from the pitcher's mound and assume the role of designated hitter again. And what they actually found out was recently modified in the NAI rulings. He is allowed to make that move without being declared the designated hitter / pitcher. So he will come in to pitch, and he is allowed to be removed later on in the game and resume the designated hitter role.
Thank you. Hopefully that clears the matter. And the first pitch hits the batter. And in all that, I kind of lost track of my scorebook. That's Rio Russell, who is now heading down to first base. You know, that's the 7th man to be hit, 4th Royal. And now the bases are loaded. Troncoso advances to 3rd, Vasquez to 2nd, and Jesse Haney is up with the bases loaded and 1 out. So now Haney with a chance to extend the lead. It's at 2 right now. 7-5 Warner leads. And Gooden with the first pitch fastball. That's a strike. Gooden definitely the hardest thrower we've seen tonight. That one couldn't have felt too good on Rio Russell. No balls and a strike. And a big lefty from the stretch hits the inside corner for strike 2. Thank you, Kyle, going there. Checking into the matter, letting everybody know the reason for the delay. You know, in essence, it's a good thing that they checked on the rule first before getting called for a violation later on in the game. You know, it might be a little inconvenience to those of us watching, but, you know, we got a region championship and a trip to the World Series on the line, so that was the right decision to check into it. And a breaking ball outside, misses 1 and 2. Now we're down around 80 degrees, sun not affecting us anymore, and it feels great out here right now. Wonder if it's still over 100 out in Peoria. And this pitch is up high for ball 2. Maybe Mr. David can let us know. He told us earlier 105 degrees in Peoria, and it said it might go even higher before it cools down. Here's a 2-2 from Gooden, and a foul tip into the mitt for strike 3. So Gooden comes in, he hits one man, strikes out the next, and a chance to get out of the inning without any further damage. He'll have to get by Junior Fermin to do that. Fermin was hit by a pitch his last time up. He's officially 0 for 2, but with an RBI.
8 RBIs, and he already has a grand slam in this tournament.
8 RBIs and a grand slam. That's right, that home run. I was mixing them up with Troncoso, forgot which one hit the granny. That's Kyle Blue reminding us of that. Fermin, a grand slam in game number 1 for the Royals in the tournament. 8 RBIs in less than 3 games. That's getting it done. I think he had 5 RBIs total in that game Tuesday rather. This one missed outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Now Gooden is ready with the pitch, and he misses up high. That one had to be in the mid-90s. Tell you what, it's been a long time since I've grabbed a bat. I'm glad I'm not in the batter's box now. I'm a left-handed batter. It would scare me to face this man on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gooden trying to get out of the inning, and the pitch is chopped towards third. Nichols throw to first, off the mark, and the tag is late. The throw was in time, would have had the runner at first, but it was off the mark. Teston did all he could, but by the time he pulled it down, Fermin had crossed the base. That is an error on the third baseman. Everybody advances, and a run is in. It's 8-5. Cole Parks at the plate now. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Gooden delivers, and this one right up at the head area of Parks. One ball, no strikes. And the 1-0 coming from Gooden. High pop fly over near the dugout, and it will get out of play. Not by much, it actually hit the top of the dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike on Parks. He's the 9th man of the inning. Warner is batted around.
Hey, stay balanced right here. Come on, watch that lead.
3 runs are in. It's a 3-run lead for Warner, trying to win the South Region tonight. And the pitch, a breaking ball in there for strike 2. That's not fair. Mid-90s, and you drop it off the table like that. And I'm glad I'm not hitting. I didn't strike out much, but I'd be ducking on this guy. Here's a 1-2. And a strike 3, but with 2 outs, he gets to run, and another run is in. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Vasquez scores, and it's 9-5. And now we're going to have another discussion. Nope, just bringing out some balls. And so that goes as a strikeout and a wild pitch. Everybody advances. With 2 outs, it doesn't matter if first base is occupied or not. The batter does get to run. So let's see what we have now. Fermin at third. This one's outside. Parks at second. Check that, Parks at first. Russell at third, Fermin at second. And that delay took my attention off the scorebook. Jesse Alker is at the plate with a count of 1-1. 2 outs, 4 runs in. Warner University leads at 9-5. Big gap in right center. Alker trying to extend it even further. And this fastball misses up and away. And a 2-1 coming from Gooden. That is strike 2 right on the outside corner, perfectly placed. Gooden is throwing smoke out there on the mound. And the 2-2, outside, ball 3. Payoff pitch with 2 outs. All runners will be going. Of course, you're on third. You want to be a little cautious not to run into the swing of the batter. So Russell will hold up a little. The other 2 will take off now. High drive into center field. That should be caught. And Mick Nickel is there to retire the side. 4-run inning. 2 of them earned, 2 unearned, and we go to the 6th. It's 9-5, Royals lead. Top of the 6th, Chase Parker, Philip Swindell, Brock Bauckham due up for Emmanuel. Jake Leifer is still on the mound. Now, he has had a long time with that delay and with the rally that Warner put together. Let's see how that affects Jake Leifer on the mound. He has faced 3 hitters. He's allowed 1 hit, 2/3 of an inning so far. Number 9 man, Chase Parker at the plate. Emmanuel averages 8 runs per game. They're going to have to surpass that if they want to come back, but very capable of doing that. Well, an average means they've scored more than 8 plenty of times. And that one's out of play. No balls and a strike. Well, Emmanuel scored 8 against Bruton, scored 10 against Trinity Baptist, and 12 earlier today against Bruton Parker. Very capable of putting a lot of runs on the board. Don't count them out. No balls, 2 strikes on Parker. "30 runs in 3 games have the Emmanuel Lions scored. They're averaging 10 per game in the tournament. 1 ball, 2 strikes after that pitch downstairs. So Leifer, he is ready. Takes a long look in. And the pitch. Little bit outside. Now, as it stands, should the score hold up, Jake Leifer is the pitcher of record. Colton Bridges is pitcher of record for Emmanuel. Here's a 2-2, and this fastball misses up and away. Each team is on its 3rd pitcher of the night. Trace Porter started. We saw Kevin Wolf, and now Jake Leifer for Warner. High pop-up. Shallow left field, could be trouble, but it is caught. A one-hand grab reaching out is a shortstop, Derek DeLear. That ball had some knuckle to it, 3 men converging, and it was a tough play for DeLear. Not as easy as it looks when you're watching. That's 1 out. Warner has used, and we told you Warner, Emmanuel has used Ethan Bailey, Colton Bridges, and Daniel Gooden. 3 pitchers each. 1 out, leadoff man Swindell at the plate, and he takes strike 1 inside corner. Oh, David DeTurt out in Peoria says it's cooled all the way down to 104 degrees. And this one is downstairs. Get the iced tea ready out in Arizona. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And this one misses down and in. Count 2-1. Leifer ready with the pitch. This one misses just a little bit inside. So the 3-1 on the way from Leifer. Strike 2 called inside corner. Swindell took that complimentary first step. And the count is full. Again, I really can't see the plate. I'm right behind the catcher. This is ball 4, and Swindell is aboard.
Up to bat, number 5, Brock Bauckham.
So runner at first, 1 out. Second baseman Brock Bauckham, he's at the plate. He has doubled, singled, and scored 3 times, and now we're going to have a runner for the catcher. Number 37, Brandon Taylor running for the catcher, Philip Swindell. Seen Taylor a few times in this tournament. Doing the courtesy running, good speed. He got a great lead and a great secondary, and that's strike one to Baucom. Lions down by 4. Let's see if they put the running game to work. And the 0-1 squared around a bunt. That stayed fair. He would have had a chance to beat it out. Third baseman Fermin way off the line. Count, no balls, 2 strikes. Leifer works from the stretch. Another good lead off first by Taylor. The 0-2 on the way, ground ball into right field. That's a base hit. It hit off Haney's glove. It slowed it down, and that allows the runner to get into third just ahead of the throw. That's a tough break because if Haney doesn't get a glove on it, it gets to the right fielder faster, and Russell would have had a better chance at the runner at third. Brandon Taylor, using his speed, goes first to third on the base hit to right from Baucom. That's his third hit of the night.
Up to bat, number 24, Hannon Price.
That's a second hit allowed by Leifer. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Hannon Price at the plate. And this pitch is fouled off, out of play to the right side. Last time up, Price put one over the left field fence for a 2-run homer that at the time tied the game at 5. We had that long delay, and Warner around that delay got 2 before and 2 after, and the Royals now lead 9-5. And the pitch is drilled into center field. Should be caught and score a run. Here's a throw to the plate from Parks. Not in time. Taylor scores. That hustle on the base hit to right is what set up that run. The sacrifice fly is a 3rd RBI for Hannon Price.
Up to bat, number 35, Daniel Gooden.
2 outs. Baucom holds it first. Here's a DH turned pitcher, Daniel Gooden. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. He's also walked and gone down on strikes. Lights now taking good effect. And the first pitch drilled fair inside the bag and headed toward the corner. That's going to score a run. Baucom all the way around from first. Throw to the plate is a little bit late, and an RBI double from Gooden right down the line, right over the bag. And Baucom with 2 outs going on contact, never hesitated. Second run of the inning is in, and it's 9-7. Well, we told you not to give up on either of these teams. Both teams have come from behind to at least tie it up. And now it's a 9-7 ball game. That ball was absolutely crushed. He got some lift on it. Well, the one thing you worry about is if it would have stayed fair, but it definitely was hit hard enough to go out to 340. So a runner at second with 2 outs.
Dallas Richards in to run for Gooden.
Dallas Richards, the runner for Gooden, who is the pitcher, so this is a courtesy runner. We've seen Dallas doing some running earlier on this week. Well, again, the rule is to allow pitcher and catcher to get ready for defense, but it also lets the offense put some extra speed on the bases. Usually the fastest non-starter will do the courtesy running. Here's the 1-0, and that's downstairs. We see a lot of that here at Trinity Christian Academy and Trinity Baptist College. TCA Conquerors have a young man, a junior named Jared Donnell, who can flat out fly. He's always used as a courtesy runner. Christian Draper of the TBC Eagles, before he worked his way in the starting lineup, he did a lot of pinch courtesy running as well. This one in the dirt, and Richard uses that speed to get into third base. That's going to be a wild pitch, charge to Leifer. Well, there are 2 outs. Leifer just needs to get the batter, but he's behind in the count 3-0. 2 bases are open. Not the worst thing to put Teston aboard. Nichols on deck, McNichol to follow. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and it is ball 4. Well, that allows Leifer to regroup and start with a fresh count. That's his second walk issued.
Now batting number 9, Jake.
And here is Nichols. He is 0 for 2 plus a walk. And now a timeout call, and we're going to have a trip to the mound. We'll pause here. Resume when the players retake their positions. It's 9-7. Warner leads in the bottom of the 6th. All right, the story is a potential tying runs on base. It's a 2-run lead for Warner University. Jake Nichols at the plate. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. Leifer works from the stretch, and the pitch is a good curveball for strike 1. Well, Warner batted around a half inning ago. Emmanuel pretty close to doing the same. This is hitter number 7 of the inning, Jake Nichols. 1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch is outside. Count 1-1. Boston has an early 1-0 lead at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox batting in the 2nd. 2 balls, no strikes. High pop up. Shallow left field, 2 men converging. It'll be caught by the center fielder, Cole Parks, to retire the side. 2 runs score, deficit cut in half, and we go to the bottom of the 6th, 9-7, Royals lead. Bottom of the 6th, Mick Tinney, Derek DeLear, Kevin Troncoso, the scheduled hitters. 9-7 in a seesaw ball game. Warner University leads, trying to close out the South Region Tournament here tonight and avoid a potential decisive game tomorrow afternoon. You heard earlier that these two schools are both sending their softball teams to the South Region Championship this Saturday. That game at Emmanuel College. Kyle tells me that's a guaranteed doubleheader. Now, Kyle, what happens if the softball teams split that doubleheader?
I've heard rumors that they're both automatic bids into the World Series anyways, because they're both high on the top 10.
All right, Kyle says both of them are automatic bids anyway, so even a split, both of them will advance. But of course, you want to win that doubleheader and get that South Region trophy.
A split goes to run differential for the technical.
He says a split goes to the run differential to help determine the seeding in the national championship tournament. But congratulations to both the Lady Royals and Lady Lions, as no matter who wins Saturday, they're both going to play for a chance to win a national championship. Here's Tinney to lead things off, facing Gooden, and the first pitch, good fastball right down the middle. Tinney is 2 for 2, an RBI and a run scored. Here's the 0-1 from Gooden, and this one is fouled off. No balls, 2 strikes. Hard throwing left-hander Daniel Gooden on the mound. He has one job this inning: keep Warner from extending its lead. The 0-2 in the dirt, good sharp breaking ball. That one moved quite a bit. So the count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Number 6 hitter Mick Tinney. If he's on, we should expect to see Taylor Briggs as the courtesy runner once again. And the 1-2, a breaking ball, chopper, Gooden off the mound. Nichols probably should have held on to that one. He didn't have a chance at the runner, and Tinney is going to take second base and get in sliding. That goes as a base hit. Tinney had to throw beaten, and an error on the third baseman to allow him to get to second. And just as predicted, Taylor Briggs heads out to the plate. Well, at this point, I like to call a player of the game. I have no idea who. So many are getting multiple hits and runs and RBIs. Might come down to a clutch moment. Here's Derek DeLear. He is 1 for 3. And Gooden steps off. Runner at second. Nobody out for DeLear. Squares around a bunt. Fastball's inside. He pulls it back. Daniel Gooden throwing some high-octane premium unleaded. 1 ball, no strikes. And DeLear fouls this one off on the bunt attempt. Kansas City Royals 4-3 over Baltimore. All 7 of those runs were scored in the first inning. That game's in the second. Seattle 5-0 over Toronto. 4-run first inning for the Mariners. Atlanta leads Miami 1-0 in the second. Brewers at Rockies, still an hour away from start time. Washington at Arizona, Minnesota at the Angels, and St. Louis and San Diego, Cincinnati at Los Angeles. Only final, Philadelphia 6-3 over San Francisco this afternoon. Velasquez won it. Block lost it. Nera's got the save. Blanco and Hansen homered for the Giants. Santana for Philadelphia. Number 6 for Carlos Santana. In fantasy players, you like to hear who hit the home runs. I tried fantasy once. Albert Pujols was still a Cardinal, and found myself having to root for him to get a hit against the Cubs, and said no more of that. Here is the 1-1 instead. Gooden turns, and nothing going on at second base. No way would I ever root against the Cubs for any reason. And here is the 1-1 and another look back at second. Ball and a strike. DeLear has showed bunt twice, fouled one of them off. Possible insurance run at second base. Gooden trying to keep him there, and time is called. DeLear called time. And here's the 1-1. Fastball outside, 2 balls and a strike. We are in the bottom of the 6th. In case you're just joining us or rejoining us after time away, 9-7, Warner leads. Here's a 2-1. Ground ball, base hit up the middle. Here's a runner around third. No throw to the plate, and it's a 3-run lead now for Warner University. Taylor Briggs running for Tinney. He scores on the RBI single right up the middle by Derek DeLear. That's the second hit of the game for DeLear's first RBI, and it extends the lead to 3. Nobody out, runner at first, second baseman Kevin Troncoso at the plate. He is 3 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. So DeLear off first, and a swing and a miss. That ball had a lot of movement toward the left-handed batter's box. Troncoso singled in the second, doubled in the 4th, singled in the 5th. That 5th inning hit brought in a run, and he scored both of the last 2 innings in which he's batted. This is a 3rd inning in a row in which Kevin Troncoso has come to the plate. Big lead off first by DeLear, and the pitch, swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2 after Gooden checks the runner, checks the signs from the stretch and the pitch, and he misses up and away. Jacob Teston heading over to the mound. Defense needs to know what's going on between the pitcher and the catcher as well. Sometimes that's how they know where to position themselves, when the pitcher might throw to a base. Don't want to get caught off guard. DeLear shortens up his lead a little, now takes an extra step. 1-2, here's the pitch. Check swing, and no swing call, and the ball gets away from the catcher. And 2 balls, 2 strikes. So that'll be a pass ball charged to Philip Swindell, allowing the runner into second. Runner in scoring position, nobody out. Troncoso has an RBI already. Ground ball toward first, fielded cleanly by Teston. He'll step on the bag for the out. DeLear advances to third. That's the first out of the inning. Xanders Vasquez at the plate. And time called as we're going to have another pitcher. Now, I believe Kyle told us earlier that Gooden will get to stay in the lineup as a DH. Is that what you found out, Kyle?
As long as that's what they stick with, yep.
He says as long as they stick with that plan, that's okay. So that looks like that they won't be able to change DHs, maybe for an injury. They looked up the rules again. Make sure before you do it that you're allowed to. So we'll pause here while the new pitcher warms up. We'll tell you about him when we come back. It's 10-7 Warner in the bottom of the 6th. So the new pitcher for Emmanuel is Ty Tipton. We've seen him earlier in this tournament. He inherits a runner at third and one out. His first man is left fielder Xanders Vasquez. First pitch from Tipton, a rising fastball. He drops down from the side, and that is strike one. Of course, it doesn't really rise, it just doesn't dip like most pitches do. So no balls and a strike. And the pitch swung on and fouled back. Tipton ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Daniel Gooding, 1 1/3 innings. He struck out 3, allowed 4 runs, 2 of them earned on 6 hits. Didn't walk anybody. And now a chance to extend a 3-run lead a little further with a pop-up towards right field, but it's going to hang up and be caught by Skeggs. And the runner starts coming down the line, but he gets back. The ball hit very shallow, and Skeggs with a good arm holds the runner at third. So the fly out to right is out number 2, and here's the leadoff man, Rio Russell. Rio has 2 hits in 3 official plate appearances. Also been hit by a pitch. Two outs, runner at third. And this one tails away and misses low and outside. Good job by Tipton to get the out without the run scoring. Now the 1-ball, no strike pitch hits the batter. We've had 7 pitchers in the game, and only Jake Leifer has not hit a batter. That's the second time that Russell has been hit, second in a row, in fact. So now runners at the corners with 2 outs, and Jesse Haney's at the plate. He's been hit once. Officially, he is 0 for 2, but he's driven in a run with a sacrifice fly. So Tipton working with runners at the corners, and the pitch is downstairs and blocked by Swindell. One ball, no strikes. Pace of the game has slowed in the last couple of innings. Remember, we started about 5 o'clock, originally scheduled at 3. And this one outside. Both start times today got pushed back an hour because of the late competition last night. And then game earlier between Emmanuel and Bruton Parker ran long, and that's why we started at 5 Eastern time. Here's the pitch, and a dribbler towards second. Takes a hop, a little bobble, but the throw to first is in time. Balkin stuck with it, didn't panic, and was able to get the out to end the inning. An insurance run scores the RBI hit from Derek Dealer. And as we go to the 7th, it's a 10-7 game in favor of Warner University. One of the best hits from the 1980s, Journey. Don't Stop Believing. Now, my son Dean, he likes the 80s music. Of course, parents grew up in the 80s. I've changed over. I listen to nothing but contemporary Christian now, but still like to hear some of my old favorites once in a while. Top of the 7th, Dustin McNichol, Steven Skeggs, Chase Parker due up for Emmanuel College. It's a 10-7 lead for Warner University. Derek DeLear tacked on an insurance run with a base hit, scoring Mick Tinney just a half inning ago. New pitcher for Warner, number 1, Ryan Klingler on the mound. Give you the line on Leifer in just a moment. This one is fouled back. Jake Leifer, 1 2/3. Nope, you got the wrong line here. 1 2/3, 1 walk, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. And this one downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Long look in by Klingler, and here's the pitch. Good sharp breaking ball. Count 1 2. Klingler is 1-1 on the season, making his 13th appearance. He started once. 6.65 ERA, 21 2/3 innings. And this one misses low and outside. First time we've seen this young man here in the tournament. He's a sophomore from Lake Wales, Florida, the hometown of Warner University. Well, it is a little warmer in Lake Wales, too. Here's a 2-2, and this one misses up high. Three balls, 2 strikes. Dustin McNichol at the plate. He's hit safely twice and driven in a run. He's also walked. This one up and in, and that puts the leadoff man aboard. Second walk drawn by McNichol. First issued by Klingler. And time called as catcher heads out to talk to the new pitcher. Steven Skeggs due up next. He's 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. We've had 8 men hit by pitches. 5 Royals and 3 Lions have been hit. Right now, the potential tying run would be in the on-deck circle. Chase Parker is scheduled to hit next. Runner at first, nobody out. Klingler from the stretch gets the strike called on the inside part of the plate. Another long look in. Here is the 0-1 instead to throw the first, and runner back in time. McNichol drew the walk to open the inning. And now the 0-1. Upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another long look in. Now the 1-1 is popped towards the right sideline, and it is going to drop foul. So everybody returns to first base and back to the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Everybody ready? Skeggs in the box. Ryan Klingler from the stretch. And the 1-2 in the dirt, and a nice block by Tinney. Tinney making sure that runner stays at first. Keep the possible double play in order, at least to force out. Throw to first, a little bit closer this time, but runner's back. Two balls, two strikes. And the pitch, up and in, that fills up the count. Signs being given by the third base coach. Good hit and run count. Good contact man at the plate in Skeggs. And good speed on the bases. Dustin McNichol not going, and ball 4 inside. Klingler did not like the call. 2 consecutive walks to open the inning, and the tying run steps to the plate. Chase Parker, he's 0 for 3. He has grounded out, reached on a fielder's choice, and popped up. McNichol at second, Skeggs at first, both walked, nobody out. And we're going to have timeout as we got a coach heading out to the mound to talk to Ryan Klingler. There's activity in the Warner bullpen. Let's see what the decision is. We'll pause here and come back. Right now it's a 3-run lead for Warner in the top of the 7th. All right, we're about ready to resume. Klingler stays on the mound. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Chase Parker at the plate, representing the potential tying run in a 10-7 ball game. Top of the 7th South Region Championship game. If Warner wins, the tournament is over. If Emmanuel wins, we play again tomorrow. Parker squares around, pulls it back. That's ball 1. Ryan Klingler is not happy with the strike zone he's getting, or from his point of view, not getting.
That looked pretty good, Blue.
1 ball, no strikes. Parker again squares, a pitch, a bunt right back to Haney at first. He's going to go to third and get the force out. Boy, Haney came from figuratively nowhere to make the play, took a risk, and got rewarded. Goes as a fielder's choice. Parker at first, Skeggs at second, 3-5 on the putout, 1 away. That's a high-risk play. It was close, but clearly beat the runner to the bag. So Klingler still from the stretch. Runners at first and second. 1 out. Leadoff man Philip Swindell at the plate. Good power. And the pitch is on the inside corner. Swindell with a home run in this tournament. Came last night against the Eagles. Team leader with 11. And the 0-1 on the way. This one misses inside. Remember, Kyle, we were talking earlier about moving tomorrow's game to San Diego. Mr. Vaught says they got a beautiful ballpark to let us use, right on the water in 68 degrees. There's a strike call, a good hard fastball. After some soft tosses, Swindell had the fastball go right by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Klingler with a chance to get out of the inning. At this point, double play ground ball should do it. And the 1-2, swing and a miss with a runner at first. Batter is out. And that is out number 2. Swindell chased one, it hit the dirt. And that's the first strikeout for Ryan Klingler.
Now batting number 5, Brock Bauckham.
2 outs for second baseman Brock Bauckham. He has scored 4 times, 3 for 4. Again, it's a tough call on right now who the player of the game is. Many hitters in both batting orders look like they could qualify. Bauckham at the plate. And here's the first pitch. It is low and outside. Bauckham, fielder's choice in the first, double in the third, single in the fifth, single in the sixth. All 4 times he's come around to score. 1 ball, no strikes. There's a fastball outside corner. That time Klingler held his leg up in the air for a moment. Might have thrown off the timing of the hitter. Now he's ready with the 1-1. This one fouled back. A good swing by Bauckham. We've talked a few times this week about just missing with a foul ball straight back to the back screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rio Russell deep in right. Medium depth in left and center. Bauckham hitting from the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Bauckham calls time, so no pitch. Again, a little sand has blown every now and then. Looks like it might have happened right before the pitch, so Bauckham asked for and got time out. Now ready with the 1-2. This one hit in the left field. That's a fair ball. 1 run will score. Here's another man on his way to third, and he will stop there. That's an RBI double for Brock Bauckham. Right down the line. Fermin playing off the line, and that allows the ball to get into the corner. Skeggs scored. Parker went first to third. It looked for a moment like he might try to score as well. It's a 2-run ball game now. Hannon Price at the plate. Tying runs at second and third, 2 men out. Klingler winds and delivers and gets the breaking ball in for strike 1. Another long lick in by the sophomore. He is ready. The 0-1, swing and a miss. Hannon Price has driven in 2. He has 2 hits and he scored twice. 2 runs coming on the home run back in the 5th. Right now his job is to get at least one of these men home. Swing and a miss, and that retires a side. That was a great pitch by Ryan Klingler. 1 run in, 2 men left. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 10-8. Warner leads. Ty Tipton on the mound for Emmanuel College. His offense just got him 1 run closer. It's a 2-run ball game, 10-8. Royals lead as we start the bottom of the 7th. Junior Fermin, the number 3 man at the plate. Cole Parks, Jesse Alker to follow. If anyone gets on, Mick Tinney and Derek DeLear. Fermin has an RBI in tonight's game. Hitless, but that 1 run driven in could prove vital. That came in the first. It's a 2-run ball game. Back and forth all night long. The biggest lead 4 for either team. Warner had that not long ago. First pitch, strike. Count of 0-1. There's a ground ball into center field and a base hit for Fermin. First hit allowed by Ty Tipton. Leadoff single. Here's a cleanup man, Cole Parks. He has scored a run. He's also thrown a runner out at the plate. So that pretty much equates to another run scored. Big lead off first by Junior Fermin. And the pitch gets a stray on the throw to first, and Fermin will advance. That is an error on the pitcher. Possible insurance run at second base. Nobody out. No count yet to Cole Parks. Last time up, Parks struck out but reached as the ball got by the catcher. And the first pitch, nice change of pace for strike 1. In the bottom of the 7th, 10-8, Warner leads. And the pitch, there's a chopper towards third. Nichols fields, looks the runner back and throws to first and gets the out. Good job. He knew he had time to make sure Fermin stayed put. Jake Nichols has a very good arm, so he knew he had time and still make a good throw. 1 out, Jesse Alker at the plate. He has doubled, singled, driven in a run, scored twice, also drawn a walk. 2 for 3, and a pitch on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. And this one misses outside. And here is the 1-1 and a curveball. Check swing, no. 2 balls and a strike. Tipton's pitch is fouled off. Red Sox now lead the Yankees 3-0 in the 3rd. Well, no hits for the Yankees yet. Only the 3rd inning. If it stays that way, we'll keep a closer eye on it. And the pitch is rolled slowly towards third. Nichols again checks the runner and makes the good throw across the diamond. 2 outs, Mick Tinney coming to the plate. He is 3 out of 4. RBI and 2 runs scored. The leadoff single advanced on a throwing error, and then 2 ground balls right at the third baseman, so Tipton can get out of the inning without any damage. Here's the first pitch to Tinney. Nice changeup for strike 1. Tipton not overpowering, but he's mixing up his speeds pretty well. And this pitch is popped up down the right side and caught in foul ground, and that retires the side. Jacob Teston went a long way, but it was up high enough. He got there and he had enough time to turn around and face the field before he made the catch. So the leadoff single and the error does not hurt Tipton or the Lions, and we go to the 8th inning. It's 10-8, Warner leading. Cody Smith now on the mound for Warner University. He is a junior from Newberry, Florida, stands at 6'0". 2-1 on the season, making his 18th appearance. 1 start, 5.40 ERA, 36 2/3 innings. He has 26 strikeouts. And he's taking over for Ryan Klingler, who went 1 inning, allowed 1 earned run, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Smith is in to try to protect a 2-run lead. It is a save situation should he finish it off without surrendering that tying run. Right now, the pitchers of record are Jake Leifer, who would get the win if the score holds up, and Colton Bridges for Emmanuel would take the loss, but Emmanuel has fought back a couple of times, and they're only 2 runs down. Daniel Gooden at the plate to lead things off. He started off as a DH, went into pitch. We had that long delay on the rules check. He's back up as the DH. Lefty on lefty, Smith is ready, and here is the pitch. Check swing and no swing. Top of the 8th, a 2-run ball game. Emmanuel looking to tie things up at least and force game number 9 tomorrow afternoon. Time called, Tinney heads out to the mound. New pitcher in there, looks like they want to make sure they got the signs synchronized with each other. Been a lot of action in this game. Emmanuel has gotten 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. Warner, 1 run in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the 4th, then a nice 4-run rally in the 5th, and an insurance run. And right now it's 10-8. That last run came in the 6th. There's a strike called. Gooden at the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. And a 1-1 downstairs. I'm Ray Bureau. We've also had Kyle Blue early in the broadcast. He's taking stats for his Warner University teams, also helping feed me some information about his players. Really much appreciate that. Dean Bureau, my son, is our cameraman. That pitch is in there for strike 2. Glad to be here this week. This could possibly be the last game, but possibly again we could be here tomorrow. There's a chopper past the pitcher, cut off but not picked up, and That's going to be a base hit because that was a very tough play. Third baseman Junior Fermin came a long way. He was actually close to the second base bag. So Gooden is aboard with the infield single. Leadoff man on first. Now the last time Gooden reached, he was the pitcher, so he was allowed a courtesy runner. That's not the case anymore. Jacob Teston, first baseman at the plate. He's been on base a couple of times. He's also driven home a run. And the pitch is a little bit inside. One ball, no strikes. And the pitch. High drive, well hit into center. It's going to be tracked down on the run by Cole Parks, who's been very good out there tonight. Caught that ball on the sprint, one hand, and just robbed Teston of a base hit. One out for third baseman Jake Nichols. Hitless on the night, but he walked early in the ball game, nothing out of 3. Runner at first, here's a pitch, outside, ball 1. Cody Smith checks the signs, has a good look at the runner, very small lead by Gooden, and a foul tip into the mitt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gooden getting maybe, looks like he just took 2 steps off the bag. Left-hander on the mound. And here comes the 1-1. Stead Smith throws to first. That one might have been to see whether or not Nichols would square around to bunt. Again, Gooden's getting only 2 steps off the bag. And now the 1-1 pitch. Instead, another toss over to first. Well, if Nichols has bunting in mind, he's not showing it. And we're going to get ready for another attempt at the 1-1. Now the pitch on the way and low and outside. Two balls and a strike. And the pitch, high foul, straight back, out of play. Royals 6-5 over Baltimore. It was 4-3 after the first inning. Now in the bottom of the 4th at Camden Yards. Mariners 7-2 over Toronto in the 4th. The 2-2, curved ball popped up and heading straight back and right over us. I lost sight of that ball and still got the umbrella that we needed earlier in the day. Couldn't tell where that one went. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And this one misses low and fills up the count. There is 1 out, and now let's see if Gooden is up to anything. Again, he's getting a very short lead. So I'm guessing not running. Another long look in by Smith, and now the payoff pitch is foul. Braves 1, Marlins nothing. Braves batting in the top of the 5th. Brewers and Rockies just about ready to begin. And here is a 3-2, and swing and a miss. He got him. That's strikeout number 1 for Cody Smith. Dustin McNichol at the plate. He walked the last time up, second time. He also has 2 base hits. So he's been on base all 4 times. He's driven home a run. Two outs. Cody Smith with the first pitch, and it's slapped foul out of play. Top of the 8th. 2-run lead for Warner. And here is the pitch. High fly ball, center field, going to stay in play. And it is caught out there by Parks to end the inning. Looked good off the bat, but he got under it just a bit. And again, it's a long way out there on this ballpark. Leadoff single does not advance, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 2-run lead for the Royals. Bottom of the 8th, and Warner University leads by 2. Looking to extend it with some insurance runs. They're going to send up DeLear, Troncoso, and Xander Vasquez. Ray Bureau, Kyle Blue has joined us a couple of times tonight. Dean Bureau, our cameraman. Ty Tipton still on the mound for the Lions, and he gets the first pitch in for a strike. Here's the 0-1, and it's fouled off. Just in case we're not back with you after this one last chance to thank you for tuning in all week. Athletic Director John D. Jones, Trinity Baptist College President Mac Hevner, TBC Eagles head baseball coach John Copeland. He's also an assistant athletic director, as is Coach Pat Milligan. We want to thank them all, especially Brandon Gilmore and his staff at the NCCAA offices, for allowing us to host the tournament this year. I'm Ray Bureau and really enjoyed these games. Still a possibility of coming back tomorrow, but just in case, want to give those acknowledgments. And of course, if you're not here watching in person or watching us online, there's no reason for us to be on the air. Here's a 1-1. High fly, shallow center, and caught out in left field. Hannon Price with a fine defensive play. So 1 out for the second baseman, Kevin Troncoso. I see some activity in the Warner bullpen, so we'll see if Smith comes out to try to finish it up, or if we have a closer coming in the top of the 9th. Regardless, the Royals are going to have a lead, at least 2 runs. Troncoso being patient up there at the plate, waiting for his opportunity. I know I've mispronounced a few names a few times, but it's going to happen when you do 8 ball games in 2 days. And with the extra inning ball game, that's 74 innings. That's a lot. I love it. But it gets difficult at times. There's a high fly ball into center field. It's got some carry to it, and it looks like the center fielder lost it in the lights, and Troncoso is going to motor on into third with a triple. We talked about the lights and how they can bother the outfielders, and they look up at the correct angle. You know, I've been here for 3 years doing these games. I've actually been on this campus for 14 doing the PA mic for the high school. So I've seen these lights many times, and they can cause some trouble for the outfielders. That is a triple for Kevin Troncoso. 1 out, runner at third. Xanders Vasquez at the plate. He has an RBI, and he's scored twice. This pitch is on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. Well, I've looked it over. Tell you who my choice for player of the game is. You know, win or lose, I'm going to award it to Brock Baucom of Emmanuel College. 4 for 5, 4 runs scored and 1 driven in. Barring anything unforeseen happening, I'm going to go ahead and call Brock Baucom tonight's player of the game, win or lose. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was a tough call because multiple players have multiple hits and RBIs. Yep, someone reminded me about the 2-run homer. That is correct. Hannon Price earlier in the ball game. He's driven in 3 himself. Here's the 1-2 and a foul tip. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Xanders Vasquez has a chance to add some insurance. There's a runner at third and 1 man out. Tipped in, steps off, now ready. And the 1-2 on the way, and the breaking ball misses outside. Two balls, 2 strikes, and this one hit hard right at the first baseman. Teston steps on the bag, freezes the runner first, makes sure that the runner stayed at third, and that's a 2nd out. Vasquez hit it hard, but right at the first baseman, Jacob Teston. Rio Russell steps in after a little bit of groomsmanship on the home plate area. Now the umpire heading off. We got a runner at third, 2 men out. Kevin Troncoso tripled. And now with the timeout, an opportunity for the coach to talk to his hitter, Rio Russell. Yankees are still scoreless. They've gotten their first hit in the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Red Sox lead. Orioles just put up 4 in the bottom of the 4th. They're still batting, leading 9-6. Seattle 8-2 over Toronto. Braves, Marlins 1-0 Atlanta, bottom of the 5th in Miami. Brewers and Rockies, any minute now we'll get underway. Only final of the day, Philadelphia beats San Francisco 6-3. Not sure what the delay is all about this time. We had a long one earlier, and now we got a timeout and a coach heading out to the mound. We'll pause here, come back when players resume. 10-8 Warner, 2 outs with a runner at third in the bottom of the 8th. Rio Russell at the plate. In addition to the 18 total runs, 24 hits, 5 errors on the board also. It's been a long ball game. We've also had some delays, and we're going to have an intentional walk to Rio Russell. No pitch, intentional walk. Puts Russell aboard. That's the first walk. It's charged to Tipton, even though it came from the dugout. So now runners at the corners. 2 outs for first baseman Jesse Haney. And Kyle says that's a bold move, putting a runner on to bring up Haney. Here's a pitch, and he hits the batter to load up the bases. So with 2 outs, the bases are loaded for the number 3 hitter, Junior Fermin. You know, Kyle, remember Junior has a grand slam already.
He has 9 RBIs.
9 runs batted in 3 games. Of course, Warner looking for some insurance. Good opportunity, but there are 2 outs. Tipton will go from the stretch with the bases loaded, and he gets strike 1 over the plate. Kyle also 9 hit batsmen in this game. Here's the 0-1. Downstairs, there's nowhere to put him. One ball, 1 strike. And Tipton delivers. What a changeup. Had to hit her way out in front. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, if that's me out there, I'm going to slow it down even more.
Fermin hits 358 with 2 outs.
358 with 2 outs, says Kyle Blue. That's Fermin's average in this situation. The ball gets away. No, it hits the batter. Either way, a run is going to score. That's hit batsman, or I say 9 before that, makes number 10, and the 3rd one that Tipton has hit. That's an RBI also for Fermin. So I think you told me 9 a moment ago, make that 10. And we're talking in 3 games.
Up to bat, number 11, Cole Park.
You know, making a bid for tournament MVP is Junior Fermin. So the runners on the bases. Fermin is at first. Haney is at second, and Russell is at third. Remember, Russell was put on intentionally.
Pinch runner for Fermin is going to be Jared Clary.
Jared Clary coming out to pinch run for Junior Fermin. If I remember correctly, I think we saw Clary on the mound earlier this week. I know I've seen him before. Now getting a chance to run the bases.
He was voted NCCAA freshman in the, or South Region freshman of the year.
Kyle says you're talking about Clary, right?
Yes, sir.
NCCAA South Region Freshman of the Year is Jared Clary. Here's a first pitch. Cole Park's at the plate. Ball gets away, but not far enough. Strike 1 was called. Congratulations, Jared. That's a high honor. There's a lot of good baseball here in the South Region. Remember, Warner, members of both the NCCAA and the NAIA. They play in the Sun Conference in the NAIA. One of the best in the country. Another good changeup by Tipton, and he gets strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Tipton with the pitch, and a fastball misses low and away. 11-8, Warner University leads. Looking ahead to the 9th, Skeggs, Parker, and Swindell are due up for Emmanuel College. Here's the 1-2. Pitch on the way and tapped foul. Little painful foul ball right off the top of the foot of Cole Parks. Cole was up here during today's first ball game talking with me. This young man knows his baseball. And now we're going to have another timeout as Parks heads down to talk to the coach. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases are loaded, 1 run is in. And we'll pause here and resume in just a moment. Now the catcher heads out to the mound. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Ty Tipton ready with the 1-2, high fly ball, well hit. Will it stay fair? It is caught in foul territory in the corner. The ball hooked away, and a nice catch by Hannon Price to retire the side. 1 run in and the bases left loaded, and we go to the 9th. Warner needs 3 outs to advance to the NCCAA World Series. Back in a moment. Anthony Torres is out there to try to close it out. It's a save situation with a 3-run lead. We saw Torres yesterday against Bruton Parker in that wonderful 11-inning victory that Warner put up yesterday. Torres went 2 2/3 innings without allowing a run. His job right now is to shut the door and put his team into the NCCAA World Series. This is a hard-throwing young man. I got a chance to talk with him earlier in the day. Soft-spoken, but out there on the mound, he lets his arm do the talking. 2-1, 2.35 ERA, 8 saves, looking for number 9, and the biggest one of his young career has that opportunity tonight. He is a freshman from Avon Park, Florida. And this save opportunity is huge for this young man. Good hard fastball outside. Skaggs, Parker, and Swindell are the first 3 hitters scheduled here in the top of the 9th. 1 ball, no strikes, and time called. And Kinney heads out to the mound. I mentioned got a chance to meet Torres, and that's been one of the best things about this week. I got to say hello to a lot of the players, a lot of the fans, family members, parents, interaction with the comments online. It's fun to do this, but it's even more fun when you get to meet everybody. 1 ball, no strikes. Torres will wind up. And the pitch, another hard fastball, and this one slapped foul. I think you just felt a raindrop, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't any rain in the forecast. We had some dark clouds overhead while the sun was still out, but still looks pretty clear. Maybe that was just a splash of water. Here's the 1-1, and the pitch is inside, ball 2. I just got hit with something flying at me. Kind of an unusual looking bug. There's strike 2, a fastball right down the middle. Dean was with me a couple years ago. The great big green grasshopper just took a nice long leisurely walk all across the top of the bleachers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. It's up and away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So a payoff pitch coming. Anthony Torres on the mound. Steven Skeggs at the plate. Swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. And I just noticed that was not Steven Skeggs. That was pinch hitter Jordan McClure.
Up to bat number 26, Josh Rivera.
So number 17, McClure, just took that at bat. He is out on strikes. 1 away, 2 outs away from winning the South Region Tournament. Chase Parker at the plate. He is 0 for 4, but he reached twice on fielder's choice ground balls. Torres winds and delivers. Hard hit ball toward third. Throw over to first. That's 2. Third baseman Junior Fermin makes the play, and now Warner University just 1 out away from winning the South Region Tournament.
That was also a pinch hitter. I saw that.
Philip Swindell at the plate. They're not telling us about the pinch hitters. That was Josh Viveros, and it's not always easy to see. Now, I know I've seen these players all week, but not that familiar with them. If I can't see their jersey numbers, sometimes I can't tell that's a new batter up there. You know, they're telling the umpires, but they're not sending their signals up our way. 1 ball, no strikes. This is Swindell at the plate. And a pitch, swing and a miss. Two outs, 1 more to get. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hard throwing right-hander freshman Anthony Torres with the pitch. Right on the corner, perfectly placed. So 1 and 2. 2 outs. And Torres ready to go. Pitcher of record is Jake Leifer. He would stand to be the winner should Torres get this final out. And the pitch, it's fouled off. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. All infielders playing deep. In fact, middle infielders back on the outfield grass. Knock it down, try to get the out, or at least keep the hitter at first base if necessary. Here is the 1-2, and now time called. Possibly the last pitch of this tournament coming up from Torres, and the 1-2. Strike 3 called, and Warner University is the 2018 National Christian College Athletic Association South Region Champion. Royals pile on top of Torres out there on the mound, and that is going to do it. It's been an absolutely brilliant week out here at Trinity Baptist College under the umbrella of Trinity Baptist Church, head pastor Dr. Tom Messer. Again, we want to thank Coach John Jones, Coach John Copeland, Mr. Mac Hevner. Ethan Horton is our game day coordinator. Alexa Goodwin is the young lady you heard on the microphone all week. on the PA. She's also the scoreboard operator and official scorekeeper. We want to thank Kyle Blue for joining us earlier this evening. All the players that we had joining us throughout the week, parents and families in attendance, all of you watching online. I mean, we've averaged in the 300s as far as view count. I expect those to continue to climb. Dean Bureau, my son, about to graduate high school, working the camera for us most of the time this week. Did a fantastic job. Once again, everybody watching, we're glad you're with us all week long. Hate to say good night, but it is time. Warner University, the South Region champions, Emmanuel College, fantastic season. They did a great job as well. Trinity Baptist College, Toccoa Falls College, and Bruton Parker College gave us some thrilling baseball here at Trinity Baptist. One more time, I'm Ray Bureau. Thank you for watching. Good night. God bless you from Trinity Baptist College. Warner will be pulling for you in the Nationals. Good night.